Country, honoring country's legends and celebrating today's new music.
Live from Altavista High School, it's time once again for Colonels football. The Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country, the playoff Altavista Colonels second round VHSL football action tonight. I am Kyle Haney. With me, as always, my dear friend and esteemed colleague. I believe you have selected Agent Zero. Oscar Briggs, how are you, sir?
No, I think you've selected Agent Zero, but hey, that's okay. Playoff football. It's cold tonight, a little bit of breeze, but it feels like football. And Colonels at 11-0, hosting the 8-3 Central Lunenburg Chargers. So this looks like to be a dogfight, Kyle.
This should be one of the better matchups we've seen all year. Coach Sharness is going to talk about that here in just a second. Right now, we're going to talk about the Subway pregame show. You can always eat fresh at Subway. Two great locations, Main Street in Altavista, and, of course, in the Walmart on the Clarion Road. $2 customer appreciation subs, Mr. Briggs. That's something we need to get off our chest. Just $2 for a cold cut trio there, or the meatball marinara. I mean, $2 for a 6-inch sub. This is not 1960s pricing here or anything. That's a today price. You can get it for $2.
And it's not a fast food burger either.
Exactly.
And there were people, when we were in earlier today, there were people taking advantage of that $2 deal. And it is a deal. Make no mistake about it.
If you got a big appetite, just get 3 of them. You still only spent $6.
That's right. I mean, you can feed the family for $10.
That's exactly right.
It doesn't get any better than that.
If you keep tuning into our broadcast tonight, you might even be able to feed the family for a little less than that, maybe a little something closer to nothing. Win with Subway. We've got some new and improvements going on, Oscar. We've got some changes that we'll talk about. Might be more chances to win. I'll let the cat out of the bag now, but give you the details here as we go on. This is the Subway pregame show. Central Lunenburg Chargers in town taking on the Altavista Colonels. It is, of course, do-or-die football team, or football time anyway. If you don't win, your season is done. If you win, you get to keep playing. You'll advance on to the third round. Coach Sharness going to talk about it a little bit, things along that nature, and then some other stuff as well. Talk about the Altavista Colonel opponent here tonight. Let's hear from him. Let's hear from some more people as well. It's the Subway pregame show. It's the Colonels and the Chargers. It's live on 105.5 KD Country.
This month's specials from your area Apple Market convenience stores. Hickory smoked sausage biscuits, 2 for $2.20. That's a good deal. Large coffee and fresh baked donut or Mrs. Freshly snack cake, just $1.99. And all meat jumbo hot dogs and a 32-ounce drink and chips for $2.99. Slim Jim Giant Sticks, 2 for $2 at the Apple Market convenience stores, Riverside, Gateway, Main Street, and Altavista. You know what they say, stop by an Apple today.
Good food, low prices, and great service keep customers coming back for more day after day at El Cazador Mexican Restaurant in Altavista. El Cazador is now open all afternoon, so you can come by anytime, any day, 11 a.m. till 10 p.m. El Cazador Mexican Restaurant, a great place to unwind and relax with friends. Open 7 days a week, Main Street, Altavista. El Cazador thanks you for your business.
Virginia's oldest and most experienced bus company, Sunny Merriman Incorporated, along with their employees and families, joined together to congratulate the Altavista High School athletic teams for their outstanding fall seasons. Sunny Merriman wishes you the best in the playoffs and your quest to bring home more state championship trophies to our community. Go Colonels and make us proud. Sunny Merriman Incorporated.
Now back to the action with Colonel Sports on 105.5 KD Country.
Back here on the Subway pregame show, VHSL. Second round playoff action takes place tonight here from English Stadium. The Colonels entertaining the Chargers from Central Lunenburg. Before we get to that one, Coach Sharness, you're here with us again. We'll talk to you about last week. You beat West Point pretty good, 63-0, and it was another game where not only did you score on defense again, 6th time this year you've done that, you scored on special teams as well, had a blocked punt in there too. So all 3 phases of the game went pretty well last week.
Yeah, but we had good effort from our team, like you said, all the way across the board. The West Point team, they came down, not fully equipped with all their players. I'm not sure what exactly happened, but they didn't give us too much of a test, and that's fine. That's the first round of the playoffs, and it's over with, and we got everyone in the ball game. Everyone got to play and stayed healthy for round two.
Yeah, brings me to my next question. You played so well, the first team offense only ran something like 8 or 9 plays. Granted, they scored on pretty much all of them, but does it scare you a little bit, or is it a negative that you didn't get to work your first team guys all that much?
Yeah, not at this time of the year. At the beginning of the year, it was a little bit of concern with conditioning, but right now the rest is I think is more important than anything.
Well, 3 guys that are on that first team, Michi Malbach, Juan Thornhill, who both of those 2 guys, in fact, scored 3 times in 3 different ways. Thornhill and Malbach, they've been doing it for a long time. They do it again last week, and I'm sure you're hoping they continue to do that throughout the playoffs.
Yeah, they've I can't say they've stepped their game up. They've been consistently good the whole year, their whole career here, and we just hope to keep it rolling is what we're looking for.
Central Lunenburg comes in town tonight. It's a team that has been pretty good in recent years. They've made it at least 3 rounds the last 3 seasons. They're back in it again, and they're a well-coached ball club that's going to be a tough test.
Yeah, they run a double wing offense, which means they're run-oriented. They put their splits on their line at toe-to-toe, and it'll be a big ball of a mess when you're watching the game. And we've got to stay low on defense, find the football, read our keys, and tackle. And then offensively, we can't turn the ball over. We got to take advantage of what they're doing defensively and make things positive for us in that way.
Yeah, another ball control team, and like those single wing teams, the offenses aren't similar, but they are similar in the fact that this is not an offense that you'd ever see on Sunday when you turn on a game. This is a completely different offense, right?
Yeah, correct. It's has a little bit of similarities to Nelson County and William Campbell. The similarity is they want to control the ball, keep it out of our hands, and get first downs, and obviously they want to score, but that's the gist of their offense. So we've got to do a great job of forcing them to punt and getting the ball in our possessions.
Final thought here on the Subway pregame show with the head coach, Mike Sharness. You've played some pretty good teams this year. Dan River, Rustburg both come to mind. Central Lunenburg in at 8-3. This team probably ranks right up there with them, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think they do. They have enough athletes to make plays on offense with their running game, and defensively they do a good job getting to the football. But you're right; they'll be right up there with those teams that you mentioned.
Playoff action continues tonight. Colonels hope their season can continue. Kickoff around 20 minutes away on 105.5 KD Country.
What do basketball, choir, drama club, and marching band all have in common? They're all high school activities that offer learning opportunities not necessarily found in the classroom. They take up just a fraction of a typical Virginia high school's budget, and they go a long way to giving young people the tools they need to thrive. High school activities, they're more than extracurricular. They're extra important, too.
Brought to you by English Construction Company with offices in Lynchburg.
No one knows trucks like we know trucks. Come see us and you'll agree. From small to tall, we've got it all. Highview Motors, GMC. Come on in. Bring the family. See your friends at Highview Motors. Highview Motors, GMC. From small to tall, we've got it all. Highview Motors, GMC.
Hi, I'm Tracy Robinson of First National Bank. Did you know there are great home mortgage opportunities available right now? With rates being at an all-time low and 100% financing, our recognized mortgage lenders will deliver the right loan for your needs. Put this together with our other progressive mortgage products, our fast local service, and we're ready to lend. First National Bank, over 100 years of dependable custom banking. For you and your money, that's important. First National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Your home for Colonel sports coverage. 105.5 KD Country.
Subway pregame show rolling on here from English Stadium in Altavista, Virginia. Fun one here tonight. Mr. Briggs, Central Lunenburg, the Chargers are in town. This is a team that, if you heard me mention it in the interview with Coach Sharness there, been at least to the state quarterfinals the last 3 years. I think, I want to say 3 years ago they made it to the state semifinals. I believe they got bounced out by Galax. But this year's team is another good ball club coached by Will Thomas, and a team that, if you heard the interview, offense is going to be a little bit different, and they've got the guys to execute the offense as well.
Well, they do. They've got two guys in the backfield. J.T. Taylor's rushed for over 1,250 yards. He's got 18 touchdowns. And Keon Baskerville's rushed for 1,100 yards, and he's got 14 TDs. So, they certainly have the running game to be able to control the ball and keep it away from the Colonels. And there are people that, if you talk to the experts, that's the recipe for beating Altavista.
Well, of course, the Colonels haven't lost all year, coming into the game at 11-0, riding a 21-game winning streak dating back to last year, in fact. So, yeah, I don't know how good that recipe is, but I think, to your point, it's the best thing, and it's the best chance you got anyhow.
Well, it is. You have to keep the ball away from the Colonel offense, and we saw some teams that had some success moving the ball, and this is going to sound odd, but William Campbell had some success running the ball. Nelson County had some success running the ball. Both those scores were lopsided in the end.
Yeah.
But they did have success moving the ball, but we've documented on this broadcast time and time again that this Colonel's defense, while you may be able to move the ball to them, once that defense gets compressed around inside the red zone, they just don't give up points.
It's a great point. We've used the term bend but don't break all year, and it is a very good term to describe this Colonel defense because, yeah, there have been some people that have gained some yards. I think the Colonels have given up over 150 rushing yards 2 or 3 times this year, but all 3 times they did it, they didn't give up a score, which is the interesting part about that. Is so getting yards does not necessarily mean you're going to get points against this Colonel defense. Another good reason to keep it away from the Colonel's defense, Oscar, is they like to score a bunch themselves. They've scored in 7 games this season. They've caused turnovers in 9 out of 11 games. So that's a staggering statistic right there. I mean, just the fact that this defense is going to outscore a lot of people on its own. But this is, again, an offense that is built for ball control. And let me try and describe the Central Lunenburg offense here while we do have a second. Mr. Briggs, you heard Coach Sharnas talk about it a little bit. It starts up front with the offensive line, really close, tight foot-to-foot splits, which means, those linemen are basically shoulder to shoulder. Hard to see in the backfield. They'll use 2 tight ends and 2 wings. So you got everybody spread across the line of scrimmage, essentially, except for the quarterback and the fullback. They'll put one of those wings in motion. The quarterback will turn around, toss it to the wing, and then the quarterback himself will go out and be a lead blocker for him. So along with the fullback, the quarterback, a couple pulling guards usually, they send a lot of people to the point of attack. And they can really make it hard to stop on defenses. They can just simply outnumber you over there on that off-tackle play and the outside sweep play, which is probably going to be their bread and butter. Now, their quarterback, Josh Painter, has thrown some touchdowns too, and you and I watched some film. He can pass a little bit. It's not a passing offense. It's sort of a play action. Once in a while, we're going to try and gadget pass you. But Painter can throw some for Central Lunenburg, and you already mentioned the 2 very good backs, and there's even a few guys behind them, too. So a lot to worry about with this Lunenburg offense.
Well, and they've got speed, too. We're sitting here now. Altavista's gone in about 15 minutes here before game time. Altavista's gone back into the locker room. Lunenburg's out, and we're watching Painter now. He's got a solid, good arm, and his receivers have some speed. So if they can mix that in with the run and keep the Colonel's defense off balance, they may have a chance.
They may have a chance indeed. And I know Coach Sharnas is concerned about this game. Tough test coming up for the Colonels in the Central Lunenburg Chargers. We'll step aside for another time out here in the Subway pregame show. We'll talk more about that win with Subway situation. Tell you a little bit more about that big hot pastrami melt that's new at Subway. That's a good one. It all happens here along with the kickoff right around the corner about 15 minutes away on 105.5 KD Country.
Apple Auto Glass is your windshield repair and replacement center in Lynchburg. You get a free car wash with all windshields replaced in the shop. Apple Auto Glass wants the fans to enjoy the Boys of Fall this high school football season.
When I feel that chill, smell that fresh cut grass, I'm back in my helmet, cleats, and shoulder pads, where the Boys of Fall.
Apple Auto Glass salutes the Boys of Fall.
Altavista High School football is brought to you by Steve Farmer Auto Sales.
Steve Farmer Auto Sales, where there's always a good selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs. And they're priced right, with financing available. See Steve Farmer Auto Sales, 1112 Main Street, Altavista. Steve Farmer Auto Sales, best deals on wheels.
Unfortunately, I have some bad news.
How bad is it, Doctor?
We've done all we can. Your heat pump's not gonna make it.
Oh, no.
Honey, it's going to be okay. We'll call Select Air Mechanical and Electrical, 332-2600. With over 60 years experience, they'll have us comfortable again in no time.
I recommend Select Air to all my patients. Call 332-2600 or visit selectairmechanical.com. They can handle all your home comfort needs, and they're an authorized trained dealer. It's hard to stop a train.
Your station for high school sports play-by-play is 105.5 KD Country.
Subway pregame show continues here, Altavista, hosting the Chargers from Central Lunenburg, an old James River District foe, and this is a team that's actually in Conference 44 with Altavista, Oscar. Of course, the conferences don't really matter at all in football. They matter in the other sports. It's a team that you could see Altavista face on the basketball court or the volleyball court. But tonight, facing them in the second round of VHSL state playoff action. A few other local games going around. We'll dive into some of those as we go on. Of course, Jefferson Forest Cavaliers in action. The Bees are in action. And GW Danville as well. And then we're keeping an eye also on the Washington and Lee Perry McClure contest, Mr. Briggs. Winner of these two games will meet winner of this one here between Altavista and Central Lunenburg, and then also Perry McClure and Washington and Lee. So I'm sure the folks at Washington and Lee and Perry McClure are also keeping an eye on this one.
Yeah, it's a fun time of year, and we talk about, you got to keep, obviously we have to keep focused on the Altavista game, but it's easy to catch yourself doing some scoreboard watching as well.
Yeah, and it's fun to do that too. I mean, that's part of what the playoffs is about, and you're always looking ahead towards your next opponent. And some people have been looking ahead for a while, and that's why you need a good coaching staff like Mike Sharnes and his guys. Keep you reined in, one game at a time mentality, and I do believe they have that. Even though it is cliche and we say it all the time, I think that's one of the things the Colonels have been really good at this year.
Well, and we talked about 2 years ago with Franklin when they exited the playoffs, and you look at the maturity level now that they have. I don't know, again, I'm not the most seasoned person in the world, but at 56 years old, this is as focused a group as I've seen in quite some time, if not ever. They're very focused. They do take it one play at a time, one game at a time. They don't look ahead. They're focused on the opponent, and tonight that's Central Lunenburg, and that hadn't changed for about the last year and a half.
You're right. I mean, it does not seem like the Colonels overlook anybody. One thing you can't overlook is this is the Subway pregame show. I said we were going to step it up a notch, Oscar. We had Mr. Robert Duff up here earlier hanging out with us. He says, hey, it's the playoffs. Let's make it a playoff-type atmosphere. Let's give away some more food. We've been doing Win with Subway all year, Oscar, and we're going to keep doing that. This is just an extension of that. We're going to do a Win with Subway right now in the Subway pregame show. All you got to do, it's not a code word this time, though. All you got to do is post to the KD Country Facebook page the team that Altavista beat last year in the state championship. That's all you got to do. If you're a Colonel fan, that should be easy. If you keep listening to the broadcast, we'll probably give the answer away. But make sure you like KD Country's Facebook page. Go there right now, post who Altavista beat in the state championship football game last year, and you get yourself a foot-long meal deal courtesy of Altavista.
And everybody,
courtesy of Subway.
That's right. And, if you're a Colonel fan, you should know that it was Essex. So,
wait a minute, you gave it away.
Well, you may have some first-time listeners and new Colonel fans, and
the point is not to trick people. The point is to give away the subs. That's what
the point is to give away the subs, get them in, let them meet the staff, let them find out how great the customer service is, and lo and behold, you get a free meal out of that deal too. Hey, great job by Mr. Duff.
Absolutely, and of course, big or small, Mr. Duff and Subway can cater your party. Box lunches, sandwich platters, cookie trays, options are really endless. Call down there at Subway. You can call right now, 369-2366. Let them handle your next big event. Got Thanksgiving coming up. I'm not suggesting Subway for Thanksgiving dinner, but the relatives are going to be in town the next day. You're going to need something. You don't want to eat the leftover turkey.
Let me tell you something else that they'll do that you probably didn't know. But if you've got a business and you have the same, a recurring meeting, he'll actually keep your favorite subs on. He's got a file. He'll keep them on file for you. And all you got to do is call him up and say, hey, we're having lunch Tuesday at noon, and he'll have them ready for you.
Wow.
You don't even have to fill out the little menu things. It's a done deal.
That is impressive. So unlike us, Subway is actually organized.
That's exactly that's exactly what it is.
Well, we try and stay organized. Hey, if you're just tuning in, maybe we don't have a winner yet. I'm not sure. Win with Subway happening right now. All you got to do is post the word Essex. Oscar gave away the answer. The answer is Essex, of course, that Altavista beat last year in the state playoff game. All you got to do is post the word Essex to the KD Country Facebook page. You got a chance to win yourself a foot-long meal deal courtesy of Subway and Altavista if you do so. And, hey, by the way, Essex, they're in the playoffs again this year, much like the Colonels. They're reloaded, looking for a chance to get back to the state championship game. We'll see if we can peek in on one of their scores as we roll right along here, Oscar Briggs. It's again, a cold night. I think Oscar's temperature on his phone was right around 30. That sounds right, and it was windy today, too. Last Friday night, Oscar, it was cold. There wasn't much wind, so it didn't feel that bad. Tonight, a little more wind. Could be a little bit more of an issue in the kicking game, and maybe guys holding on to passes, that sort of thing. When it gets cold out there, it's hard to compress that ball, just like it is on the golf course, Oscar. We'll put it in those terms for you. So does that maybe limit Walker Allen's range a tad? I don't know.
I think it certainly does. We were watching him in warm-ups, and usually he's good. His leg is good out to about 45. But let's step away as they get ready to play the national anthem. We'll step away and take that break. You're listening to 105.5 KD Country.
Life happens, divorce, family problems, criminal charges, civil litigation, personal injury cases. Turn to David W. Shreve, an experienced attorney at law. David W. Shreve has been practicing law for 30-plus years. Free consultation for personal injury cases. Call today, 369-6621, 369-6621. David W. Shreve. Good luck to the Altavista football team in the playoffs. Go Colonels. David W. Shreve, located 7th Street, Altavista.
Hello, this is Mitch Haley, co-owner of Altavista Appliance Home and Lawn Center.
And this is Paul Shelton, co-owner of Altavista Appliance Home and Lawn Center.
We would like to invite you to visit our new location at 606 7th Street, the former Alta Shoe Shop building.
We are proud to offer the top 6 major brands in the appliance industry.
With the largest selection of appliances, furniture, and lawn equipment in Altavista and the surrounding areas, we have something for everyone's taste.
With several financing options available, we can meet any customer's needs.
In the past century, our community has grown, and Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service has grown too, alongside the families they've known for so long. Finch & Finch is proud to have served you over 100 years. A family business, Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service, dedicated to your service.
Finch & Finch Funeral Homes. We're here because we care. English is
So much more.
English is
More than a hardware store.
English is.
My friends may call me the perfectionist, but at English's Building Supply, my neighborhood Davis paint dealer, they greet me by name. You see, I like to get things done exactly right, especially when it comes to my many painting projects. So I'm at English's Building Supply a lot, whether it's mixing the perfect Davis paint for my project or offering great incentives. They do business just the way I like it. Perfectly. English's on North Main Street, Altavista.
Here's more award-winning high school sports with Kyle and Oscar on 105.5 KD Country.
Another very good rendition of the Star Spangled Banner provided by the Altavista Colonel Marching Band. Spirit line is beginning to form down there on the field. I think the cold weather has kept some fans away, Oscar, but it looks like the stands are starting to fill up on the other side. Central Lunenburg did not bring a real big crowd, and that surprises me just a little bit because this is, again, like I said, a very successful program through the years. It's a team that's 8-3 this year, and I know they've got high hopes and expectations. Maybe they're late arriving, making that trip down 40. Not real hard to get to Central Lunenburg from here. Just got to go to Charlotte Courthouse and keep on going, basically. Those directions make sense?
Yeah, it does, but it's certainly not an outrageous drive. It's, hour and a half. About right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's certainly not a 3-4 hour ride like, Perry McClure had to go to Washington Lee today.
Sure.
And, actually, Perry McClure let schools out early, 3 hours early today to allow some people to go down. Class act by that
is.
school system to allow that to happen.
Yeah, we know there's a lot of great people up there in Buena Vista with Perry McClure. Don't look too far ahead, though. The Chargers are going to have a lot to say about this one tonight with Altavista. We got a lot more to say about Win with Subway, Mr. Briggs. Our sound engineer, Eleanor Haney, actually informed me we had a tie.
No.
It's possible. It's mathematically possible. We had a tie. Two people posed at the exact same time. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to give both those people meal deals.
That's a fair
right.
deal.
We're going to give them both away. And to you other fans listening, we're going to even do one more Win with Subway at some point tonight, either the halftime show or the post-game show. I told you Robert Duff wants to step it up here in the playoffs. He's bringing his A game too. 3 different foot-long meal deals will be given away tonight. So that's pretty impressive there by Subway.
So do we know who the winners are?
I got some names. I want to clear it with our legal team first. I'm just kidding. Eleanor Haney is gonna send them to me. I think I'm getting this right. I think I'm getting it right. Austin Lunsford and then also Shannon Saunders, I believe were the two names. But anyway, Win with Subway, fantastic promotion we've been doing all year. Courtesy of Subways in Altavista, 2 great locations, Main Street, and then also in the Walmart on the Clarion Road, of course. This is the Subway pregame show. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the support of these other folks as well. Apple Markets, check out the weekly specials at all area locations. Feller Chevrolet, a short drive will save you money. They sponsor the YouTube rebroadcast as well. Listen to your favorite Colonel games on demand. David W. Shreve. When life happens, call David W. Shreve, attorney at law. El Cazador Mexican Restaurant, a great place for family and friends to dine. I know they've been tuning into our games, Oscar. We'll give a shout-out to those guys as we go on. English Building Supply, your complete home center, and Davis Paint headquarters. Highview Motors, GMC, from small to tall. Highview has it all. Sunny Merriman, Virginia's bus company, sales, service, and parts. Apple Auto Glass, get a free car wash when you have a new windshield installed. Select Air, mechanical and electrical, your authorized Train dealer. It's hard to stop a train. Steve Farmer Auto Sales, best deals on wheels. Was talking to Steve a little bit earlier, Oscar, as I know you were too. English Construction Company, wishing our high school athletes an exciting and injury-free game. The First National Bank, focused on providing an extraordinary customer experience. Altavista Appliance, your appliance, home, lawn, and garden center. Visit them at their new location on 7th Street in Altavista. And Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Services, a family serving families since 1905. Of course, live internet broadcast at kdcountry.com or with the TuneIn app is brought to you by Chris Owen, your Allstate agent in Lynchburg. And I know we got those out-of-town people listening again tonight. We know we've been scouting you out. The technology has shown us, Oscar. They're listening in Chicago, Illinois. Couple people in New York City listening. Manhattan, I'm guessing that's our old buddy Jay Rosser up there listening in downtown Gotham City up there. And again, they're all over. I mean, east, west, north, south, even in other countries. So Chris Owen provides you the streaming audio at kdcountry.com. You don't have to live in Lynchburg to get a quote from Chris Owen. I bet you can get you a great deal on your insurance. So all you people that listen online, go check Chris Owen out online. And if nothing else, drop him a line. Tell him that you really appreciate him sponsoring the internet broadcast at kdcountry.com. Another big shout-out before we get going, our good buddy Danny Barber in Altavista. Oscar, you told me you drove in there. Tell us this story about when you were getting a haircut today. It looks solid, by the way. Danny, if you're listening, the haircut looks good. Kudos to what you did for the guy.
Yeah, and you know, I pulled up and turned my car off. I was listening to KDE. I turned my car off, turned the radio off, and I still heard music. I still heard KDE, and I'm like, what in the heck's going on?
I turned this car off.
Yeah, and so I get out, and he's put a speaker outside now, and he's playing KDE. He's gotten a lot of feedback from people saying, hey, what radio station is that? Hey, it's KDE. They play a lot of old country. So kudos to Danny. He'll fix you up, man.
Danny will make you look good. You said you were, 56 years old?
56
haircut.
Years old.
You don't look a day over like 32 with that haircut. You look outstanding. Good stuff there all the way around. And we know we got Colonel fans everywhere listening. Drop us a line on Facebook. We'll mention you. I know the Mormon family listens a lot, and a bunch more shout-outs to go on. My buddy Tom Menzel is listening. He is a big Wisconsin fan, Oscar. Iowa playing Wisconsin tomorrow, as you may not know, but I think the Hawkeyes are going to take the Badgers. I'm going to have to hear about that on Monday. And as the Altavista team breaks out through the spirit line, through the banner, we get some fireworks going off, courtesy of the Altavista Colonel Club. Exciting stuff here from English Stadium tonight. Hopefully you can hear that in the background. Sirens going off. Colonels are pumped. Crowd is pumped. Referees huddling at midfield. We've already had the coin toss, Mr. Briggs, and boy, certainly feels like playoff football now, doesn't it?
Boy, it does. And the fog machine's rolling, fireworks going off, Enter Sandman playing. Boy, it is exciting time. And the prospects of Altavista having a good, close ball game tonight, a pick'em game, that's exciting.
I'm sure it's got the fans a little extra excited as well. And the pregame show right there doesn't it doesn't dull the excitement one bit. Boy, that rivals the light show that we get to see behind us in basketball season. The fireworks going off, the fog machine, the sirens, the guys are pumped up, urging the fans to get into it and make some noise. Colonels coming out here. Walker Allen will do the kicking honors as Central Lunenburg set to receive.
Colonels did win the toss, and as we talked about, they will be kicking to Lunenburg.
Yeah, it's been their MO all year. It looks like number 17, Malik Foster, back deep to receive.
And Walker Allen is averaging about anywhere from 55 to 59 yards a kick, which puts it, in the 5 yard to the goal line area. And the opponents are only averaging about 14 yards per return. So, even when he doesn't kick it into the end zone, teams are starting around the 20-yard line.
That's exactly right. Great point right there. 22 touchbacks on the season for Walker Allen. And then you're right, when he doesn't kick a touchback, it normally lands somewhere at least around the 10-yard line, if not closer to that end zone. And it makes it very difficult when you got to cover so much ground on the return game. Other guy back deep for Central Lunenburg is number 3, Jaquan Taylor. They just call him JT. We'll try and do that as well. Here comes the run-up from Walker Allen. Football game is underway. This kick not real deep. Taylor did not field it because there were whistles blown. Flag drops out near the Altavista line of scrimmage. Somebody got off too quickly. It's going to be offsides on the Colonels kicking coverage unit. Back them up 5 yards, Mr. Briggs. We'll start the whole thing over again.
Interesting call, and I didn't see the flag, and I thought that it looked like Taylor was just going to let the ball go into the end zone. The problem was he was at about the 5 yard line.
Yeah, he kind of stuck one hand out there, little Ricky Henderson style catch in the outfield there, but it's because he heard the whistle and knew there was no need for a return. Walker Allen going to reset the football this time. He'll kick it off from the 35-yard line. Colonels in the home black jerseys, orange pants. They've gone with a number of different combos this year, Oscar, that we've seen. We like the black on black. This is a good look going on right now for the Colonels. Walker Allen going to try the run up again. He'll boot this one away. This one is pretty deep. It's going to get fielded on about the 10-yard line by JT Taylor. Starts up the middle. Now he wants to go left side. He's running away from some Colonels, and he does. He's got some blocking out front. Thornhill throws him down. Juan never really made a tackle. He just sort of dumped him to the turf right there. Solid gain, though, to open things up. They'll spot the ball on the 32-yard line. Far hash mark is where the visiting Chargers will take over.
And we've talked about it all year that the Colonels have done a good job staying in their lanes. That time, not so much. They kind of broke it. Looked like the blocking kind of broke down for Central, and they converged to the ball, and he was able to get outside a little bit.
A good observation by you. He really did run away from some Colonel tacklers, and normally there's somebody there to fill those lanes. There wasn't that time. Tight formation. Painter under center, tosses it to Taylor. Taylor going left side. Not a whole lot there. Big mass of bodies, like we said. He ran into a wall of Colonels. Juan Thornhill coming in from the backside, help on the stop, and it looked like Wayne Short as well getting in there, mixing it up, helping on the tackle.
Jason Brown was the one that turned that play back inside to allow Short and Thornhill to clean up the play. Gain of about 2, call it 2nd and 8. Nice job by the Colonels. This is a very, very tightly bunched offense.
Yeah, those linemen are just shoulder to shoulder, foot to foot. You can't see in the backfield at all. Then you got the tight end and the wings. 2 tight ends, 2 wings. Going to toss it to the right side this time. Not much doing there. Another big stop by the Altavista Colonels D-line. They may give him a yard or so. I believe it was Baskerville that time on the carry. He did pick up, they'll say, 1.5 or 2. It's going to bring up 3rd and 7, Mr. Briggs. Still no score. 11 minutes to play in the Apple Market first quarter.
Looked like Short and Trayvon Elliott was in on that play as well.
Well, Coach Sharnas told me off the air that they thought they had a pretty good game plan designed to stop this double wing offense.
Sideline warning flag comes out. Sideline warning on Coach Revis early.
Yeah, and it's just a warning. That first penalty doesn't count, but the flag did come out. Just a warning. Here we go. 3rd and 7, biggest play of the game thus far. We're only a minute in, though. Snap. This is going to be a reverse double handoff. They give it to Taylor. Taylor's going left side. He's across the first down marker. Now across the 50, now the 40. And Taylor busts a long one loose for the Central Lunenburg Chargers. Little trickeration play. They tossed it to Baskerville first. He handed it off to Taylor on a little inside reverse. Big pickup. We'll call it a 20-yard gain right there. Fresh set of downs for the Chargers.
And nice play, and he showed some speed when he got out there, Kyle.
Some speed, and he showed a few moves out there in space as well, making a couple Colonel tacklers miss. That's not easy to do. Same formation, 2 tight ends, 2 wings, fullback right behind the quarterback. They're going to toss it to Taylor again. Taylor's going to go left side off tackle. Destin Brown will run him down. Small pickup, though. He stayed in bounds, tackled him about a yard short of the out-of-bounds marker. Still no score here from Altavista. Opening drive, 10 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the Apple Market first quarter. Called a 2-yard pickup for J.T. Taylor.
And Cardinals look like they're having a little bit of problem picking the ball up. And again, similar to what we saw against Nelson and against William Campbell, once they got into the flow, Coach Revis made a couple adjustments. They were able to adjust.
Riley Hart is the fullback, and if you notice that fullback, Oscar, he sets up right behind the quarterback. He could reach out and touch the quarterback. Toss play this time going to Baskerville. Baskerville trying the right side. Nothing there. Slung to the ground by Clydell Moon. Moon dusts himself off. Nice solo tackle by Moon to run down Baskerville outside.
Well, Baskerville's got some yards on the season, and it's easy to see why. He's got some speed, too. We talked about not being able to get outside on this Colonel's team. This is one of the few teams we've seen so far this year that's got the speed that looks like they can get outside.
Great point. They might have at least the 2 key guys, Baskerville and Taylor. They might have speed that rivals the Colonel's speed. Another 3rd down coming up. Near side hash mark this time. Wide side of the field is the left side. Lunenburg going left to right from our perspective. Here it comes on 3rd and 6. They put Taylor in motion. They hand it to the fullback this time, going straight up the middle or off left guard anyway. Short of the first down marker, brought down by Thornhill, Moon, and Dante Poindexter. Looked like Demetrius Johnson in there as well. Short of the first down. It's going to bring up 4th and 1. Big play coming here, Mr. Briggs.
Yeah, and with 8:45 remaining here, again, Altavista kicked off to Lunenburg. This is a big play. They can, if they get the first down, they can continue to keep the clock running, and they'll be almost inside the red zone.
Lunenburg needs to get to about the 25. They're going to snap this from the 26. Looked like a hard snap count by Lunenburg. Linemen all get down in one motion there, which is a little bit different from some other teams. Flags come out. Referees are discussing now with the Lunenburg coaching staff. I wonder if Central Lunenburg might have called a timeout.
I don't know. Coach Revis is, he's expressing his opinion.
Officials are conferring right now and discussing. I didn't see anybody from Altavista jump offside, Oscar. So I don't. It's either on Lunenburg or they called a timeout. At least that's what I'm thinking. 8:29 remaining in the quarter. We've just started here from Altavista. Still no score. Still haven't seen a signal yet here on the 4th and short penalty before the ball was snapped.
Offside on Altavista.
We're going to call it offside on the Altavista Colonels. They must have lined up offside because nobody jumped offside. That's going to be enough for a first down. Second first down of the night so far for Central Lunenburg. They started this game on offense. Picked up 1 first down rushing, and then they picked up the second one here with a penalty. They'll spot this ball on about the 24-yard line, which seems odd. That doesn't look like 5 yards to me, but we'll see. 1st and 10 coming up for the Chargers, middle of the field. They put a man in motion. That's Baskerville. Inside reverse goes to Taylor. He's got nothing. Clydell Moon held him up, and then Juan Thornhill delivered the shot to bring him down.
And, boy, Clydell, the inspirational leader for this team, is absolutely fired up about that. And that's about a 2-yard loss. And again, Colonels look fired up.
Colonels do look fired up. Clydell Moon breaking through, getting some penetration in the backfield. Big play right there. It's going to bring up 2nd and 11 for Central Lunenburg. 7:55 remaining in the Apple Market first quarter. 0-0 is your score here from Altavista. Lunenburg, same formation, 2 tight ends, 2 wings, 1 fullback. They're going to give it to Baskerville. Baskerville's going outside to the right. 1 tackle missed by Moon. The next guy did not miss. That was Donovan Montague and Juan Thornhill. Flag comes out as he gets brought down. He got it past the line of scrimmage, but not much else, Oscar. And you're expecting a hold here on that outside sweep play.
Looked like whoever was engaged with Clydell Moon grabbed hold of him.
That was a different play from where the quarterback tosses it and leads a block. That time it was a straight handoff on sort of a wide receiver sweep. It is holding on Central Lunenburg. Thinking that the Altavista defense will accept the penalty, back it up, and make it probably at least 2nd and 17. I'm guessing maybe even a little bit more, Oscar.
Yeah, it's going to be.
It is more than that.
It's going to be 2nd and 22.
It looks right. First down marker.
21.
First down marker is around the 12. So yeah, that's close. Same formation, 2 wings, 2 tight ends, fullback, Painter under center for Central Lunenburg. Fake handoff. Now it's a passing play. Throwing back. They got it complete to Taylor. Short around the line of scrimmage. He's got some blockers, and he's breaking some tackles. Across the 20 now to the 15. He's finally brought down. I'll tell you what, Taylor, you get him some space, you get him the football, gets ahead of steam. He is hard to bring down.
Boy, and Darius Johnson took a break on that ball. Almost got his hand on it for the pick 6, and it's going to be 3rd and about 4. Nice pickup there of about 16 from Lunenburg.
Big passing play right there. It is going to make it 3rd and 4. Far hash mark, 6:52. I mean, look at how Lunenburg is eating up the clock here. We mentioned they were a ball control team. They do it with some short passing right there. Same formation for the Chargers. Colonels have a lot of guys crowded around that line of scrimmage. Thornhill up as a linebacker. They're going to hand it off to the fullback, Riley Hart. It looks like he's close to the first down marker. I think he's a little short
come
again.
Up about a half a yard short, it looks like, or a full yard short. And you got to be careful because Lunenburg lines up in that tight formation, and they do a funny little reset right before they take their stance. It's going to be easy for the Colonels to get an offside or either a jump.
Yeah, the line, all the offensive line resets. They put that hand down really in one motion, and it's not snap. You can move before the snap as long as you come set for a full second. 4th and very short here for the Altavista Colonels in Central Lunenburg. They put a man in motion. Now he's going to go back to the spot he came from. Time out on the field. Lunenburg maybe didn't like the looks of the Altavista defense.
And they were banking on that hard count.
Hard count didn't work. We'll take a quick timeout, too. No score. 4th down and 1 coming up for Central Lunenburg when you come back to 105.5 KD Country.
A short drive will save you money.
In the market for a new Chevrolet? Fellers Chevrolet.
FellersDirect.com.
For a huge selection of new Chevrolets and pre-owned vehicles, it's Fellers Chevrolet.
FellersDirect.com.
FellersDirect.com. Selection. Convenience. Fellers Chevrolet.
Fellers Chevrolet.
Always open and only a click away.
FellersDirect.com. A short drive will save you money. Fellers Chevrolet in Altavista.
More live high school sports action on 105.5 KD Country.
4th down and half a yard coming up for Central Lunenburg. They picked up 1 4th down earlier on this drive due to a penalty. See if they can get another one here. They were banking on the hard count. I think you're right, Mr. Briggs. Altavista did not jump that time. Colonel defense has made some stops in the Lunenburg backfield, but Central Lunenburg has gained some yards. Most of it's been J.T. Taylor, a couple long runs. He had the reception for a big gain that got him close here. Lunenburg breaks the huddle. Same formation. Really tight splits up front. 2 tight ends, 2 wings, fullback. Painter is the quarterback, barking out the snap count. He snaps. He's going to throw. Quick pass. It's complete on 4th down. No, it's dropped. It's incomplete. It looked like he was looking for Raymond Alexander, number 80. I thought Alexander had it. Altavista's defense was all stacked up front. It was a well-designed play. It was the old timing pass to the tight end, but Alexander just couldn't pull it in.
Boy, you're right. It hit him in the hands. He was open. There were some Altavista players in the proximity. That was a huge play. They burned up. We talked about it early. They burned up 6 minutes and 4 seconds on the clock.
Gone,
Half the quarter gone. The Colonels hadn't touched the ball, and guess what? They come away with no points.
Bend but don't break defense. We said that in the pregame. It's evident right there. Good stuff from the Altavista defense. Nice job on the stop. It'll be Colonel 1st down, 1st and 10 from their own 12-yard line. Thornhill in there at quarterback. He's got Destin Brown to his left, 2 receivers to each side. He's going to throw to Michi Malbeck. Malbeck bobbles it for a moment, and he caught it. He's across the 20, the 30, the 40, the 45. He's got one man in front of him. Little head fake, hesitation. Now he's got to the sideline. Just a foot race to the end zone. Is anybody going to run down Michi Malbeck? No. Touchdown, Michi Malbeck. What a long one right there, Oscar. 88 yards on the pass and catch. And Malbeck with the nice little head fake around the 40 that gave him some more room.
Wow. Central Lunenburg executed their game plan, controlled the ball, ate up the clock, got down inside the red zone, got to the 12-yard line, and then one play, they go 4 downs, can't score. Altavista right out of the box, 88 yards, Thornhill to Malbec. That hurts.
Wow, that does hurt. If you're a Lunenburg fan, that hurts right there, and it's got to deflate the Charger football team a little bit. What a play. Malbec bobbled the pass initially, pulled it in, then he took to the left sideline. He got all the way across the 50, and then he met the safety. Head fake on the safety, kept going down the sideline, and just outraced him. He had to throw a little stiff arm there at the end around the 10, too. Walker Allen's extra point is good. Colonel's on top early, 7-0. 5:42 remaining in the quarter on 105.5 KD Country.
Apple Market convenience stores featuring bargains throughout the store, like Monster energy drinks in the 16-ounce size, 2 for $2. Choose from new soups, tasty broccoli and cheddar, creamy potato bacon, or chili, 8-ounce size, $2.59, or 12-ounce size for $3.49. M&M and Snicker regular size bars, only 99 cents. Apple Markets, Riverside, Gateway, Main Street. You know what they say, stop by an Apple today.
Back to the press box for high school sports on 105.5 KD Country.
Michi Malbec in the end zone from 88 yards out on the pass from Juan Thornhill Oscar. Exciting stuff. 11th TD pass of the year for Juan.
Time of possession, 6:04 for Central Lunenburg. 14 seconds for Altavista, and they lead 7-0.
That time of possession stat might be a little overrated, particularly if you follow the Altavista Colonels right there. Michi Malbec in the end zone for the 15th time on the season. Wow. Impressive stuff right there, too. I dare say that might be his most impressive touchdown of the year, too, with the things
number
he did.
One, it was a one-handed catch. It looked like he wasn't going to be able to reel it in. He did reel it in. And then some nice blocking out on the edge to open that gap.
Absolutely. Allen with the run-up. This kick going to hang up real high. Not as long. He'll still land on about the 10-yard line, though. Altavista coverage team racing down there to try and cover J.T. Taylor. Taylor hits somebody hard around the 20-yard line. Was that Donovan Montague? Maybe. Demetrius Johnson out there as well. Traquan Farmer. And then also, I believe it might have actually been Clydell Moon that made the stop over there initially for the Altavista Colonels.
And obviously, the Colonels, somebody from the coaching staff, the special teams, did a little coaching because they stayed in their lane that time. Nothing broke down. And Central starting from their own 22. Trailing 7-0.
Nice adjustment by the Altavista Colonels. Kick coverage unit right there. Same formation for Lunenburg. Far hash mark. They're going left to right away from Bedford Avenue from our perspective. 2 tight ends, 2 wings. They're going to toss it to Taylor. Taylor looking off left tackle. Falls down. Falls over a big mass of bodies. Many of them his own guys. Juan Thornhill was on the bottom of the pile making the stop along with Michi Malbec. Destin Brown over on that side as well. And Darius Johnson over there on the left side. And when you get so many people jammed up in one spot, it's hard to really identify who made the tackle. But those 4 or 5 guys were causing the pile anyway.
And it was a funny-looking play because the whole right side of this line collapsed, and it looked like the play was going to flow to the right, and it actually went back to the left.
2nd and 5, solid pickup, though, as Taylor fell forward. They'll toss it to him again. Same play, looking left side again. Big mass of bodies. He's brought down. Thornhill is there. Demetrius Johnson is there. Small pickup again on this one. They give him about a yard. Call it 3 and 4.5 here.
And as we talked about throughout the year, Coach Sharns continues on that offensive and defensive line to shuttle players in and out. Kagan Cox replacing Wayne Short right now. It's worked very well. They've got about 6-7 kids that are interchangeable so that he can go deep on that bench and keep those guys fresh.
Keeping guys fresh, importance particularly down the stretch here when you're playing some rugged football teams like Central Lunenburg. Here it comes on 3rd and 4. Man in motion. They're going to toss it to number 1. That's Baskerville looking for a hole. He makes one guy miss. That was Thornhill. He's close to the first down marker before he's brought down by Michi Malbec and Donovan Montague. They are going to signal first down. Chains do move. He just reached it out across. Needed to get to, probably around the 33, and he did just that, Mr. Briggs. So clock keeps moving. 4:15 remaining in the Apple Market first quarter. It's a 7-0 Colonel lead.
Contact had him. It looked like he was going to be short. He kept driving his legs and reached out and got the ball out just probably about a half a yard in front of the first yard to gain marker. So it's first down.
1st and 10 from the near side hash mark, right side hash mark. They put J.T. Taylor in motion. They hand it off to him this time, trying to stretch it out wide. He gets by Destin Brown, pushed out of bounds by Darius Johnson. Thornhill was coming quickly. He's pushed out of bounds after a solid gain. 7 or 8 yard pickup there. We'll see where they finally move the stick. Let me ask you a question here, Mr. Briggs. I know we're still early, 3:50 remaining in the quarter. Seen anybody this year better after contact than Central Lunenburg's backfield? I mean, there's some pretty good runners back there.
No, they are. And Taylor, you know, when we played Prince Edward, they had some speed, but Taylor certainly's got speed to rival anybody we've seen so far.
He really does. They've been giving it to him a lot. Call it 2nd and 6 here. Put him in motion again. They hand it to the fullback this time. That's Hart plowing ahead. He's got Thornhill just trying to ride him to the turf. Had a man on his back as well. I mean, that's hard running from the fullback, Riley Hart. First down pickup there on a 5-yard gain. That is old school football right there. Give it to the fullback. Let him be his own blocker.
And again, nice job by Lunenburg not going into panic mode. They're only trailing 7-0. They've dominated the clock. They've moved the ball. They're sticking with their game plan, and it's the right thing to do.
Couldn't agree more. 1st and 10 from the 46-yard line. 3:31 remaining in the Apple Market first quarter. It's a 7-0 Colonel lead here. Second-round football, BHSL playoff action. Keeper this time, I believe, by the quarterback, Josh Painter. Is that right, or did they flip it over to number 1, Keon Baskerville?
They did Baskerville, but again, it's a pickup of about 7, closer to 8, even 9. And right now, Coach Sharness is going to need to continue to shuffle those kids in and out of the defensive line, because this Central Lunenburg team is big, strong up front, and they're getting into the secondary, Kyle. They're getting into the linebackers.
Last time we've seen a team attack the defensive line like this, you probably got to go back to the Dan River game. Lunenburg under center again. Wing, 2 wings, 1 fullback, same formation. They tossed it to J.T. Taylor. Colonel's got some penetration that time. Clydell Moon grabbed a hold of Taylor's waist and helped slow him down, and then the rest of the cavalry came and cleaned him up. That'll be a loss of at least 1. Let's see where the ball is finally spotted. They're going to say he got back to the line of scrimmage.
That's a favorable spot, because he didn't get back to the line of scrimmage, even with forward progress.
Nice tackle by Moon. He got in that backfield in a hurry.
And the way Central Lunenburg's moving the ball, it's 3rd and call it it's almost 1.5, but you got to believe they're in 2-down territory. They've had success running the ball.
Yeah, they're on their own 45-yard. Excuse me, they're on the Altavista side. They're on Altavista's 45-yard line. Here it comes on 3rd and 1 here. Long snap count from Painter. They'll put Taylor in motion again. They'll hand it to the fullback, Riley Hart. He's got enough for a first down. Destin Brown hit him, but it's already after about a 2-yard gain. So the fullback here is a dangerous weapon for Central Lunenburg early. Riley Hart with the first down yardage.
And, you know, he looks big. He's 198. He looks bigger than that. He looks like he's a 220 kid.
He runs bigger than that, too. I mean, just the way he falls forward. Seems like Altavista keying on Baskerville and Taylor on the off-tackle play. So those rare times they do give it to the fullback, Riley Hart. It's enough to gain some decent yardage. 1st and 10 here from the 40-yard line, the Altavista 40-yard line. Lunenburg driving again. Painter under center, wants to pass on first down. Looking deep down for the tight end, Alexander. Incomplete. Wow, it went right through his hands. Raymond Alexander had the defense beat. Thornhill was trying to make up the ground, but Alexander probably should have caught that ball. It went through his hands. That would have been a big pickup and possibly even a touchdown.
It was a tough angle because the ball was coming directly over his shoulder, almost over his head. It was a tough angle. It would have been a good catch, but it hit him in the hands. And that's the second ball we've seen that should have been caught. And if you're gonna beat out to this, you can't make those kind of mistakes.
No, great point. That's the second time Alexander's been open. That one, like you said, a little tougher of a catch. It would have had to have been the old Willie Mays catch. But it's certainly drawn up well and thrown well by Painter as well. 2nd and 10 coming up. They're going to toss it to Baskerville. Baskerville more up the middle this time. He's going to hit a big mass of bodies. Look at that, Oscar. You get all 22 players on the field piled up in about a 10-yard circle right there as they're all just pushing at the ball carrier, trying to find him in the middle of that pile somewhere.
And Dante Poindexter on the right side was able to blow through and penetrate and force that flow back. Boy, what a spot. Back over to the right-hand side. Brings up 3rd and call it a long 7. 1 minute left here in the first quarter. The Colonels have had the ball for exactly 14 seconds. They may not get it again this quarter.
Might not get it back. They made the most of it for those 14 seconds, though. That's how long it took Michi Malback to run the 88-yard touchdown reception. 3rd and 7. Double handoff play again. Football's on the ground. Football is out. The Colonels have it. The Colonels have it. Altavista football. They tried the old trickeration play again. It didn't work out. Darius Johnson pouncing on the fumble for Altavista.
Boy, and again, I just said it. If you're going to beat the Colonels, you can't make that kind of mistake. And it was 3rd and long, but a great job by the Colonels penetrating and really disrupting that play.
They were trying the double handoff play again. They gave it to Baskerville. Baskerville's next handoff to Taylor never got to its target. Darius Johnson fell on it. Altavista will take over. They'll scrimmage from their own 42-yard line, middle of the field, going back to Bedford Avenue, right to left from our perspective. Thornhill calling out the snap count. He'll hand it off to Destin Brown. Brown off tackle, lowers his shoulder. Nice shot right there for a gain as he is run to the turf there after the punishment delivered by Destin Brown. 32 seconds left in the quarter. Colonel's probably going to be able to run another play here on 2nd and 4 before the quarter runs out.
Gain of about 6. And the 25-second clock and game clock are about in sync.
Yep, they're going to have to run another play unless they burn a timeout. Montague in the game at tight end. Juan Thornhill has Destin Brown to his left. 2 receivers to the left. That's Malback and Darius Johnson. Walker Allen split out wide to the other side. Corner's given about a 5-yard cushion. They hand it to Destin Brown again. Brown stacked up around the 50-yard line. Call it a gain of 1 after they spotted. I believe he had forward progress to about the 50. The quarter has run out. First quarter is done. The Altavista Colonels haven't had the ball much, but they've made the most of it. They lead 7-0. Second quarter on the way when you come back to 105.5 KD Country.
Good food, low prices, and great service keep customers coming back for more day after day at El Cazador Mexican Restaurant in Altavista. El Cazador is now open all afternoon, so you can come by anytime, any day, 11 a.m. till 10 p.m. El Cazador Mexican Restaurant, a great place to unwind and relax with friends. Open 7 days a week, Main Street, Altavista. El Cazador thanks you for your business.
Your high school sports station with award-winning coverage on 105.5 KD Country.
Well, the Colonels' defense made some big plays in that quarter, Oscar. The Colonels' offense did so as well. Defense came up with the 4th down stop around the 12-yard line. Altavista got the ball back from there. They made the most of it. 88-yard touchdown pass, Juan Thornhill to Michi Malback. And then the defense made a great play at the tail end of that quarter there on the 3rd down fumble and turnover recovered by Darius Johnson.
And Michi Malback's come off the field a little bit shaken. They'll have Angela Emerson looking at him.
He's down on one knee right now, just sort of talking to Angela Emerson. I saw somebody down there trying to stretch out lower extremities, leg areas.
And Destin Brown's off the field as well. Of course, that's where you've got the luxury of having a Clyde L. Moon come in. Colonels lead 7-0 here beginning of the second quarter.
5 down lineman for Central Lunenburg. Juan Thornhill's going to take off on a designed run. He's outside the numbers. Now he's down the sideline, cutting it back up the middle. Juan Thornhill is going to be gone. Takes one look in his rear view to make sure nobody's following him. Touchdown, Juan Thornhill, and the Altavista Colonels 51-yard scoring run from the magic man himself, Juan Thornhill. Great downfield blocking again. Good stuff right there.
Yeah, there's a flag on the field.
Flag down. Altavista Colonels offense is huddling up. They suspect maybe it's against them.
Well, and what I saw, and they're pulling it back, what I saw was the same thing the clock operator here saw, and it's gonna go back against Altavista as a block in the back or a hold. But what I saw was one of the Central kids stop, and then one of the Central kids stopped, and then one of the other Central kids ran over him. But anyway.
Yeah, official word is a block in the back. It happened around the 25-yard line, so they spot this on the 40-yard line. Still ends up being a first down for Altavista.
But again, what a run by Juan Thornhill.
Another great one from Juan Thornhill. He started off tackle, took it outside some more. He got about a yard or two from the sideline. Then he cut it back in all the way across the right side of the field. And before you knew it, he was in the end zone. Bunch formation to the right here on first down. Juan's going to catch his breath, call the snap count. He's got Clyde L. Moon right beside him. Wants to roll out to his right, looking to throw initially. Now he's going to take off and run. He's across the line of scrimmage, across the 30, 25, the 20, the 10, the 5. Touchdown. Juan does it again. Wiped the first one off with a penalty. Not going to be able to wipe this one off. Juan Thornhill from 40 yards out.
That was a pass play. He had a jailbreak over here on the right side, but it looked like the pocket kind of collapsed on him. He stepped up in, Didn't have an option. The receivers turned into block mode, and Juan does what he does so well. E.A. Thornhill, the ghost, the magic man, whatever you want to call him. Boy, what a run by Thornhill.
Incredible stuff. I mean, he scores from 51 yards out on the previous play. They call a penalty, so guess what? They run another play, starts out as a passing play. Thornhill takes off and takes it into the end zone that quickly. Great downfield blocking again. Juan had to snatch that extra point, put it down to the block. Kick is no good, though, so the Altavista Colonels lead will get stuck at 13. Timeout here with 11:37 remaining in the half. Altavista leading Central Lunenburg 13-0 on 105.5 KD Country.
Virginia's oldest and most experienced bus company, Sunny Merriman Incorporated, along with their employees and families, joined together to congratulate the Altavista High School athletic teams for their outstanding fall seasons. Sunny Merriman wishes you the best in the playoffs and your quest to bring home more state championship trophies to our community. Go Colonels and make us proud. Sunny Merriman Incorporated.
Now back to the action with Colonel Sports on 105.5 KD Country.
Juan Thornhill, a 40-yard rushing touchdown in what Mr. Andy McCracken, PA announcer here at Altavista, is calling a 2-for-1 special because he scored right before that on the previous play, took that off because of a penalty, and just does the same thing on the very next play. Altavista up 13-0, but this is a Central Lunenburg team that has played well. They've moved the football. I'm sure they still got a lot of fight left in them, Mr. Briggs.
And the Colonels have had the ball less than 2 minutes. They took over with less than a minute left. The first drive was a one-play drive, 14 yards. So, again, 11:37 remaining. Colonels leading 13-0. Boy, Central Lunenburg is dominating the ball. They're moving the ball, but they've had 2 costly mistakes.
Yeah, 3 if you look at it. I mean, Alexander has had 2 passes hit his hands that he could have pulled in. And not saying he should have pulled them in, but he could have pulled them in. One was a little tougher than the other, and then the fumble, a big costly mistake. So they will split the difference and call it 2.5 mistakes. Driving kick this time from Walker. Allen will get fielded on the 8-yard line. This is J.T. Taylor again. Not as much of a full head of steam this time. He never kicked that one into 5th gear, but he did get it across the 20-yard line. We'll call it the 21-yard line where Central Lunenburg will take over. 11 and a half minutes remaining in the Apple Market second quarter. Colonels lead 13-0.
And again, we talked in pregame about a little scoreboard watching. Interesting score coming out of the East. After 1, Rappahannock 0, Essex 0.
Tight ball game there between Essex and Rappahannock. Of course, Colonel fans know Essex. That's who Altavista beat in the state championship game last year. And like I said, they're reloaded and back for more this season. Toss play is going to go to Baskerville. Baskerville will turn it up off right tackle, still on his feet. Falls forward for a 5. More than that. That stick just keeps on moving.
Yeah, and you've got the side judge and the, boy, nice game.
Not our best play-by-play work there. Speak for yourself, right?
Yeah.
9-yard pickup when it's all said and done there.
Well, the 2 of the referees were about 2 yards apart determining where the ball was going, so I was a little confused.
I was too.
Beg your pardon.
Second and a long one coming up. They'll toss it to Baskerville again. He's going up the middle again, now outside of the right. Brought down by Donovan Montague and also Destin Brown there. Got him around the waist and drove him to the turf. And first down pickup there by the Chargers.
And you talked about it earlier. This team, after contact, is the best, certainly the combination, far and away the best we've seen so far this year.
Yeah, best 2-back combination. You're absolutely right. We've seen some individual guys that might be individually better than Taylor and Baskerville, but I tell you, they're both pretty solid.
And I don't know I'll talk about it after this.
Jury's still out on that. Same formation, 2 wings, 2 tight ends. Painter tosses it to Baskerville, and he gets out there as the lead block himself. Not a hole there for Baskerville, so he just puts a hand on the back of his lineman and his quarterback and gets the most out of it he can. 1-yard pickup.
And Baskerville is getting the pitch from Painter. I mean, he's not a yard away from him, and that's not easy to do in traffic. Agreed. Especially if you've got a Thornhill and a Destin Brown and a Dante Poindexter closing in on you.
Yeah, Painter takes the snap, then he sort of deals the cards back there, right? I mean, he does the soft little pitch to one of the wingbacks. After he does that, he turns around and becomes a fullback himself. It's an interesting offense. Like I said, you'll never see it in the NFL, at least not probably anytime soon. They give it to the fullback this time. Nothing doing there. Demetrius Johnson glad to meet Riley Hart along with Destin Brown and Clydell Moon. Might have got back to the line of scrimmage, but it's going to bring up 3rd and 8, Mr. Briggs.
And I don't know what has happened early in this ball game, but certainly the coaching staff and the officials on this side continue to have ongoing dialogue. And it's very interesting. Very rarely do you see Cliff Lee engage with an official, but he's been engaged on several occasions. Interesting occurrence.
Yeah, it's a good observation by you. I think you're right. Normally, the Altavista coaching staff about as laid back as you'll find, and they don't ever mix it up with the officials. Toss play going to go this time to Taylor. Taylor's going to turn it up. He's got some room. Hit hard around the 42-yard line, brought down around the 44. After the initial contact again, he'll get helped up there by Demetrius Johnson, probably the guy that was the first one to make the stop. Destin Brown in that area as well. It's going to bring up 4th and 2. Oscar, what you like here?
Boy, they're going to do something, probably one of the, the last time they were in this situation, they tried that little double handoff thing, and it backfired on them. You may see that again.
Looks like Lunenburg has all intentions of going for it here. 8:38 remaining in the half. Altavista leading 13-0. Lunenburg is lined up to go for it. 2 tight ends, 2 wings, and a fullback. Looks like an unbalanced line to the right to me. They'll toss it to Baskerville. Baskerville, nothing doing there. He is stopped in the backfield. Just got swallowed up by the Altavista defensive line right there. Excellent play. Demetrius Johnson on the stop. Trayvon Elliott with the stop. Wow, what a play on 4th down.
Boy, and we talked about it all year. When they have to make a stop, they dial it up. And there were 5 Colonels there that met in the backfield. That play never, ever had a chance.
Central Lunenburg, 1 of 3 on 4th down. And, boy, those were 2 of the biggest stops of the game so far for the Altavista Colonels. They lead 13-0, 8:25 remaining in the half. Altavista back on offense. They have not been on offense much in this ball game. Thornhill's got 2 receivers to each side. They put Nelson Dews in motion. They hand it to number 24. He's going to turn it up. He's got some room to run. He's across the 30, the 25, closer to the 20 now. Gets a lot of contact down there around the 21. Dropped there after the tackle from number 8, Brandon Scott from Lunenburg. What a big pickup there for Nelson Dews.
Boy, we've seen that jet sweep with Michi Malback all year. Nelson gets it about once a game. He made the most of his opportunity on that play.
Nelson Dews, hard running right there. Good job reading the blocking, turned it up nicely.
And nice job by him holding the ball once he got contact downfield at the 21. He was wrapped up, was hit several times.
2 receivers to each side again. Colonels are on that far hash mark. They're going to put Michi Malback in motion. Juan's going to keep it himself, though. Got tripped up around the 19-yard line. Fell forward to the 18 as he got slowed down there. Good job by one of the linebackers from Central Lunenburg, because if they don't get a hand on Juan's calf there, or the shoestring, Juan's probably headed the end zone there.
Yeah, that hole opened up, and there was a gap. We could see it from here, and it looked like Juan was going to the house again. But nice job by Lunenburg getting him down low.
2nd and 8 for the Altavista Colonels. Thornhill has 2 receivers to each side. Far hash mark. Wide side of the field is the right side. 7:26 remaining in the half. Juan wants to throw. Got a nice pocket. Complete to Malback around the 7. Michi Malback, touchdown. He is in the end zone. His 2nd receiving touchdown of the night. He caught it around the 7 or the 8. Turned to his right, just found enough space to crawl into the end zone there. What a play.
And really nice patience by Juan, because he did a little pump fake because it looked like Michi was open. He let Michi finish his pattern, got him wide open in midfield, hit him in stride, and Michi did a little hitch and was able to get into the end zone. Hey, no flags on the play.
No flags on the play, indeed. We'll call it a 18-yard pass and catch there. Thornhill with his 2nd passing touchdown tonight. Boy, how about the way Juan stood tall in the pocket that time? Normally, he'll jump out one way or the other. Snap is not very good. Juan's going to take off and try and run for the extra point. He does. A 2-point play there by Juan Thornhill. Not designed, but the snap was low, so Juan took off with it. And the Colonels have got it back to a full 3-score lead. 21-0. They're up. 7:19 remaining. Lunenburg will get the ball back when you come back on 105.5 KD Country.
English Construction Company has been in the building business since 1909, so it's only natural that they appreciate the building process. They recognize the fact that organized sports programs build character as well as bodies and minds. They know that high school sports build our youth into more well-rounded and more productive adults. English Construction Company is proud to be a sponsor of high school sports and salute all athletes, coaches, and teachers. A word of praise and encouragement from English Construction Company, with offices in Lynchburg.
Your home for Colonel sports coverage. 105.5 KD Country.
Colonels 21-0. Juan Thornhill has run for a 2-point conversion. He's thrown 2 touchdown passes, and he's run for 1 touchdown. And, again, time of possession firmly in Central Lunenburg's favor, but they're down by 3 full touchdowns.
I'm trying to think how many plays the Colonels have run. It's not double digits yet.
Not yet.
We're talking with school board operator Jimmy Mundy, our second string clock operator, and it's less.
Got
than,
no
we're
answer
thinking
for
it's
that.
I think it's we're at 7 plays, and the Colonels have 21 points.
Well, I don't know. Do you count the play where there was the penalty where Thornhill scored the touchdown and you bring back?
Yeah, you do, because there was yardage.
You're right. Yardage was gained. They ended up getting a first down on the play. It came late. It was a block in the back. Anyway, we digress. Colonels lead 21-0. We know that. Walker Allen going to kick off again. This one's going to get fielded on the 5-yard line. Looks like Taylor. Actually, it's number 8. That's Brandon Scott. He's going to get it to the 15-yard line. Swarmed on by Traquan Farmer, Destin Brown. Also, Ty Woodruff down there helping out on the stop for the Colonels, along with number 20, Mateo Malback. Good team tackle there as Brandon Scott is brought down. Actually get him to the 17-yard line on the spot there. That's where Central Lunenburg will take over. 7:13 remaining in the Apple Market second quarter. 21-0 is your Altavista Colonel lead, but it's been hard fought. Don't let the score margin fool you.
Well, it has been hard fought, but again, this is a very, very good Central Lunenburg team, and to think that this game is over, you better not if you're a Colonels fan or if you're a Colonels player.
Yeah, this is a Central Lunenburg team that's a running ball club. They're going to run it here on first down. Taylor trying to go out wide, hits a man hard around the 15-yard line. Nelson Dews.
And you know, one of the things I talked to a certain official that officialed last week's game that had his flag go missing. I won't mention Barry Wilson's name. But he coached Nelson Dews when Nelson played for the Lizards, and he said Nelson loved to hit as much as any kid he's ever had play for him. He certainly showed it on that play.
Yeah, lowered the shoulder. There was some helmet-to-helmet contact, but it wasn't targeting or anything like that. Both guys just ended up getting down there at the same level. They actually say he lost about half a yard, so excellent play by Nelson to run him down there.
And nice job by Johnson in pursuit. Darius was dead on him.
2nd and 11 on the way for Central Lunenburg. Man in motion is Taylor. They're going to fake it to him. Looks like a passing play. Quarterback Painter rolling out to his right. He gets rid of it to Riley Hart, the fullback. He caught it in the backfield, made the first guy miss, and he made Juan Thornhill miss. So that's kudos to Riley Hart for that play right there. Not a big pickup, though, as Hart falls down after that move and called a 3-yard gain. It's going to make it 3rd and 8. 6:05 remaining in the Apple Market second quarter. 21-0. Your Altavista Colonel lead.
It looked like he was going to throw the ball away at first, and I think that's what Clydell thought. And Clydell was the guy covering the receiver. And then Clydell missed the tackle. He's giving himself a hard time about that. But 3rd and 8.
Lunenburg's going to line up, same formation, 2 tight ends, 2 wings. Fullback is Riley Hart, sets up just about a yard behind the quarterback, Josh Painter. Maybe not even that much. They're going to hand it inside, reverse type of play to Baskerville. He won't have enough. He picked up 1, got it across the 20. Not much else, though. Hit hard by Demetrius Johnson, Michi Malback. Clydell Moon was over in the area as well. It looks like we're going to see our first punt of the ball game from either team.
Well, and we talked about Coach Revis making adjustments, and as much success as Lunenburg has had moving the ball first quarter, early part of the second quarter, the last 2 times that they've had the ball, the Colonels have been able to absolutely shut them down and not allow them a first down.
Punting formation indeed, and you're right. Kudos to Mike Revis and his defensive squad. They bent but don't break early. Now it looks like they're just not even bending. They're not allowing much at all. 4th and 5 coming up for Central Lunenburg. They're going to reset the punting formation, bring the offensive line in, tighten them up just a little bit. Maybe they're expecting a block from Altavista. Snap gets back, and it's pretty good. Punter rolls to his right a little bit. Malback going to field this one. No, he muffed it. Ball is out, and it's recovered by Central Lunenburg. The Chargers are going to take over on their own 41-yard line. Muffed punt. Malback looked like he was under it comfortably, but it went through his arms. Looks like it was number 4, Sherrod Tisdale, that fell on it for Central Lunenburg. Johnny on the spot right there for the Chargers. Fresh set of downs in great field position to boot.
And the Colonels tried to block that punt. They sent up like 9 players. Michi was back there. He had 4 players from Lunenburg closing in on him. Like you said, probably the prudent play there would have been a fair catch or either just let it go. But again, Michi's mentality is he can take it to the house. Colonel's back on defense now. with great field position for Central at the 43-yard line of Altavista.
Far hash mark. They're going back towards Bedford Avenue. Passing play here on first down. Painter rears back and throws it. Bumping out there in coverage, and they're going to say incomplete. Number 3, J.T. Taylor, wanted the flag. He bumped into Malbeck. I think probably a good no call, though, because Michi really probably had the better positioning. The ball was long, overthrown.
Yeah, absolutely. He had better position, and nice job by Michi getting over the mental mistake, and they tried to take advantage of Michi. And as we've seen all year, you try to pick on Michi Malbeck. He's got 9 interceptions. You're picking on the wrong guy.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about when these coaches watch the tape and they say, hey, let's throw over there on that guy's side. Maybe they just don't know the statistics. Different formation now for Central Lunenburg. They're in a shotgun formation here. They got number 1, Keon Baskerville, back deep as the quarterback. Maybe they weren't lined up properly, though, because they're going to call a timeout. We'll take the timeout with them. 21-0 is your Altavista Colonel lead. 2nd and 10 on the way for Central Lunenburg. 4:35 in the half when you come back to 105.5 KD Country.
Have you looked at your business banking fees lately? I'm Sean Stone with First National Bank, and we have the best business accounts which offer serious savings for your company. We have a full menu of business products from checking accounts and remote deposit capture to online banking. And we have a local merchant card representative who will customize services just for your business. So let First National Bank prepare an analysis of your current activity and show how we will reduce your banking fees. First National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Your station for high school sports play-by-play is 105.5 KD Country.
Award-winning high school sports coverage. 52-plus years, in fact, Oscar Briggs. We're having a good time.
Here we are.
It really is an honor and a privilege to do these games. High school football is pretty fun.
And we're getting to watch a special group of athletes. Make no mistake about it. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, we probably got the best seat in the house. Of course, not a bad seat at all out here in English Stadium. There goes, and this ball is on the turf. Shotgun snap went to number 7, Josh Painter. He's the normal quarterback. He really just turned too quickly, wanted to hand it to Baskerville. This is going to end up being a big loss. Lunenburg falls on it.
And Darius Johnson was closing fast, and really that play didn't have much chance of going anywhere.
No.
Darius Johnson, Donovan Montague, Destin Brown were all over on that side and had penetration.
You can tell that Lunenburg a little more comfortable operating under center because that snap was fine. I mean, it hit Painter in his hands. He just turned too quickly, couldn't handle it.
And, they haven't moved the ball as well here in the second quarter. Got great field position at the Altavista 40, and I'm sure they felt some pressure.
Double handoff play. Baskerville hands to J.T. Taylor. Nothing doing that time. Colonels diagnosed it well. It was Darius Johnson in the backfield along with Wayne Short. He ended up getting back to the line of scrimmage, but there was nothing right there on that play. It'll bring up 4th and long. Ball spotted on the 50-yard line. It looks like the Chargers are going to drop back and punt again.
And Destin Brown was out on the edge to really turn that play back in, even if they'd tried to go wide on him. And it just, I started laughing because it just wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, it ends up being about 4th and 19. Thornhill is going back deep to field this punt. So don't know if it's because Michi muffed the first one or maybe it's by design. Maybe the game plan was, hey, Michi, you're going to take the first one, Juan, you're going to take the second one. Snap gets back to the punter. That's number 17, Malik Foster. Kick is short. It's going to bounce. It's going to hit somebody from Central Lunenburg around the 25-yard line. That's where they're down at 1. Never got a chance to get his hands on it.
And 3:03 remaining here in the second quarter. Colonel's leading 21-0.
This is the point in the game where it's danger time if you're Central Lunenburg because you can't fall down 4 touchdowns to anybody, Oscar, but you can't fall down 4 touchdowns to Altavista. I mean, you literally just have no chance then. I'm not saying you got a great chance when you're down 21-0, but at least you've still got some fighting hope out there.
Donovan Montague in at quarterback. Thornhill set out wide.
Yeah, Juan out wide here to the near side. Donovan Montague under center, in the shotgun, not under center, but he's running the quarterback spot. He's got Clydell Moon beside him, 2 receivers to each side. 1st and 10 from the far hash mark. Donnie wants to pass, swings it out. It's tipped. He was looking for Thornhill. Ball hit the turf, and it looked like it was broken up by number 80. That's Raymond Alexander. Got his hand in the passing lane, and it'll bring up 2nd and 10.
And I would say nice job of scouting on that play. Alexander did a good job of getting his hands up. Little quick pass to Juan. They've tried that play several times this year. It's been successful. Usually when Juan's out wide, the more success is when he does a little slant about 20 yards downfield. That's been the successful play for the Colonels when Juan's wide out.
Yeah, Thornhill's caught 2 touchdown passes this year, both of them from Donovan Montague. Monty's going to put Nelson Dews in motion. He hands it to him. Look at Juan Thornhill with the pancake block out on the edge. It might spring Nelson Dews for a touchdown. Nelson's across the 40, the 45, runs into some tacklers, falls down around the 48-yard line. Wow, did you see Juan get out and just run over the cornerback? I'm not even going to mention his name because I really feel bad for that guy. I mean, Juan just planted him in the turf. Nelson Dews saw it just like I did, and he ran right up that empty space. Big pickup there on second down. Colonels will have 1st and 10 from their own 49-yard line after the long Nelson Dews run. Thornhill's in the slot this time. Montague still back there at quarterback. He's going to turn and hand it to Clydell Moon. Moon across the 50. Not much else. Falls forward to the 49 for a 2-yard pickup. And 2.5 minutes to play in the half, Oscar.
And you talked about the play that Juan made. We talk about Juan as an athlete. Make no mistake about it. This kid's a football player. That play right there, the play right before where he just pancaked the kid is a prime example of Juan's mentality and what the football player is.
Impressive stuff. Montague drops back to pass. Nice pocket to throw from. He's looking for Thornhill. Juan catches on the 20. Juan's across the 10, the 5, touchdown. The Magic Man and Donovan Montague hook up. Their 3rd touchdown connection of the year. 49-yard passing strike. Good job by the offensive line to give Donnie some time to throw. Threw a strike. Juan ran under it. And you don't have to give the Magic Man much extra room. He raced it in the end zone when he caught it. Touchdown. Colonels lead 27-0.
And that's the exact route that we talked about that they've been successful with. And with Juan's speed, with his athleticism, and Donovan Montague, make no mistake about that either, has got as good an arm as anybody in the East region.
Excellent passing play there. Another short drive, but another drive that leads to points for the Altavista Colonels. Walker Allen kicks this one through the uprights. Altavista, the home team, they're on top, 28-0, starting to pull away. 2 minutes and 10 seconds left in the half on 105.5 KD Country.
Apple Auto Glass is your windshield repair and replacement center in Lynchburg. You get a free car wash with all windshields replaced in the shop. Apple Auto Glass wants the fans to enjoy the boys of fall this high school football season.
When I feel that chill, smell that fresh cut grass, I'm back in my helmet, cleats, and shoulder pads, where the boys of fall.
Apple Auto Glass salutes the boys of fall.
Here's more award-winning high school sports with Kyle and Oscar on 105.5 KD Country.
You know, Oscar, scientists say 2/3 of the earth is covered by water, the other third covered by Thornhill. Speaking of scientists, this is the same day that Albert Einstein published that E=mc² thing. I don't know. It's about physics or something. Juan Thornhill, he knows all about that stuff on the football field. I promise you he does.
Boy, very rarely am I speechless, but I am now.
Thornhill, let me tell you what he's done so far, Oscar. You know, but I'll tell the fans out there in radio land. He's thrown 2 touchdowns, both of them to Michi Malback. He's run 1 touchdown.
He's run 2 touchdowns.
Good point. One of them was called back. Excellent point. The 2-for-1 special play. He's got 1 official touchdown. He ran for a 2-point conversion, and now he's caught a touchdown pass. 49-yarder from Donovan Montague. Like I always say, what can't the Magic Man do? Short kickoff this time. Lunenburg wasn't expecting it. They didn't have anybody field it. It's still rolling around on the turf. They finally scoop it up on the 10-yard line, and Altavista is just all over the ball carrier, number 8, Brandon Scott.
And now you got a real problem. They're going to mark that at the 3-yard line. 2:05 remaining here. Altavista has all 3 timeouts. You've got to get a first down here if you're Central.
Excellent point. I mean, this is a situation where the Altavista defense is licking their chops. The Altavista offense, which is, of course, a lot of the same guys, they'd love to get the football back and score that way. 2:05 remaining in the Apple Market second quarter. 28-0 is our score. Some scores at halftime, some of which may or may not intrigue some of you. And Lunenburg taking some time to break the huddle. I think they obviously know they're in the shadow of their own goalpost. They know they're down 28-0. So
no, they are literally in the shadow.
Yeah, it's probably not a good huddle to be in right now. They come out under center, double wing, double tight end, 1 fullback. Toss play is going to go to number 3. That's JT Taylor. Taylor will not get it past the line of scrimmage. He tried to get out of bounds, but the clock continues to move. It was actually Keon Baskerville, my mistake.
And I don't think he was trying to get out of bounds. They want the clock to run, but Altavista calls a timeout.
Yep.
Let's take it with them.
We'll take it with them. We'll get our thoughts together, and we'll see if the Colonels D can come back and cause some more damage. 28-0, Altavista on top. 1:53 remaining in the half here on 105.5 KD Country.
Altavista High School football is brought to you by Steve Farmer Auto Sales. Steve Farmer Auto Sales, where there's always a good selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs, and they're priced right with financing available. See Steve Farmer Auto Sales, 1112 Main Street, Altavista. Steve Farmer Auto Sales, best deals on wheels.
More live high school sports action on 105.5 KD Country.
1 minute and 53 seconds remain here in the Apple Market second quarter. Of course, three great locations in Altavista: Gateway, Main Street, and Riverside. No excuse for not stopping by the Apple tonight after this one. 28-0 is your Altavista Colonel lead over the Chargers from Central Lunenburg. 2nd and 10 on the way here. Referees taking some time after the timeout.
They're making sure that they get the full credit for the full timeout.
Now the football gets put in play. Lunenburg was
TV timeout.
Yeah,
TV wouldn't let them
right.
start. Commercial
Lunenburg.
was still in session.
Central Lunenburg was ready to go about 10 seconds before that. Put a man in motion. They're going to toss it to Taylor. Taylor's going up the middle. He's got some yards there. Meets a lot of resistance from the Altavista linebackers, but he falls forward for a solid 7 or 8 yard pickup.
And
he's close to that first down marker.
Yeah,
and 3rd and 1.
Yeah, and Altavista's letting the clock run.
Yep. Now it looks like
they're going to call for a measurement.
Okay. So the clock will stop. No timeouts burned, though. Clock operator Jimmy Mundy, class act. Not only does he run the clock, he jumps down on the floor here and does a little janitorial duties. I mean, custodial, janitorial. Are those words?
I mean, there are better clock operators. He happens to be one of them.
Yeah, of all the clock operators I know, I will say this. He is one of them, and I do mean that from the bottom of my heart. 1:35 remaining here in the half. It's a 28-0 Altavista Colonel lead. Colonels have instituted the running clock a lot this year. I was wondering if we would have it tonight because Lunenburg, I mean, very good ball club. Altavista's really made them look pretty pedestrian, Mr. Briggs.
Yeah, that's a good word, pedestrian.
I mean, this is a team at 8-3 coming in. The Chargers had some common opponents. They played William Campbell twice. They beat William Campbell twice. Last week was pretty close. 3rd and short coming up for Central Lunenburg here. Same formation, 2 wings and a tight end. Toss play goes to J.T. Taylor. Taylor's got a man around his legs in the backfield. I think he's short. Thornhill's coming up off the pile. So is Dante Poindexter helping out for the Colonels.
They're going to call. They're stopping the clock. They're calling for a measurement. If the spot is right, he was stopped short. Referee just did a little sidestep, little Texas two-step. Be interested to see how that affects where the spot is.
Now, Lunenburg has sent out the punt unit. I mean, they were. I guess the Lunenburg coaching staff, led by Will Thomas, was thinking that they were short, at least from his perspective. So they sent out the punt team. And 1:19 remaining in the half.
That's what I was getting ready to say. 1:19 remaining here in the half, and Colonel's leading 28-0. It'd be interesting to see. We can't see the Colonel players are going to blocking this. And if it's 4th down, and it's 4th down, and you got to believe, number one, you got to watch for the hard count to see if they can get the Colonels to jump so that they can close out the half without any further damage.
Yeah, Colonels call a timeout. We'll keep it here, and you're right. You do have to watch the football. It's 4th and really short. Central Lunenburg still, for the most part, at least in my perspective, backed up deep in their own territory. It'd be dangerous to go for it here, although it is only about 4th and maybe a foot.
Yeah, do you try a trick play? They're lined up like they're going to punt. If you punt, at least you're giving Altavista some yards to cover. If you go for it and you do make it, well, guess what? They'll be able to run out the clock. But if you go for it and don't, you've given them a real short field. Now, Altavista, let's face it, has had no trouble moving the ball against Central Lunenburg.
Yeah, I don't think the short field would really matter, but you're right. You want to give yourself a little bit of breathing room, at least make the Colonels have to run some plays. Altavista did burn another time out there. Juan Thornhill back deep to receive. It's actually number 12, Taylor Atkins, doing the punting duties for Lunenburg. He's standing on about his own 5-yard line. Here comes the snap. It's a little good one. He takes a step to the right. Kick is not very good. It's going to bounce on the 30-yard line. Thornhill walking up to it, thinking about snatching it up and running with it, but there were too many Lunenburg defenders around. Central Lunenburg downs the football on their own 33, so Altavista takes over. Great field position.
About a 17, Kyle, about a 17-yard punt. And 110, Colonels still have a timeout left, so there's plenty of time. Again, if they used all 1 minute and 10 seconds, that would be one of their longer drives of the night.
Altavista shuffling in some personnel. It looks like Montague's going to stay back there at quarterback. Mateo Malback is checked in the game. He's in the slot now. Juan Thornhill split out wide to the right. Destin Brown will be in the backfield with Donovan Montague.
First time we've seen Walker Allen out wide left.
1st and 10 on the way, far hash mark. 1:10 left to go in the half. Montague's going to roll out to his right, looking for Thornhill. Ball is a little high. Juan got his hands up a little bit late. Pass is incomplete. Bring up 2nd and 10. Colonels lead 28-0.
That was a timing play, and Juan actually fell down on his break. And by the time he got back up, the ball was dead on him. For those of you that haven't seen the Colonels play and haven't seen Donovan Montague throw the ball, it is something to behold, ladies and gentlemen.
Number 3, the senior Montague, possesses a great arm. Very well-rounded football player as well. He's caught touchdown passes this year, too. So a little bit of a rarity to have guys that have thrown and caught touchdown passes. Draw play here. Handoff will go to Destin Brown. Brown tripped up in the backfield. He got dropped by, it looks like, number 24, Corey Shaw. Or maybe it was number 4, Sherrod Tisdale. Anyway, going to end up a 5-yard loss. 3rd and 15 on the way for the Altavista Colonels. We're under 45 seconds left to play in the half. Montague looking for the snap now. Going to drop back to pass again. Throwing to his right. Looking for Malback. Pass tipped away. Michi gives a little shot at the end of the play. Pass is incomplete. Michi was spotted up on the 30-yard line hitch route. Now Michi quickly surrounded by not only the Central Lunenburg players, but also the officials as well.
The ball had come loose from Michi, and the whistle blew. And about the time the whistle blew, one of the players hit Michi from behind. Michi took exception to it and gave a little forearm shot. I'd say nice job by the officiating crew. Cooler heads prevailing and separating the players and not calling a penalty on either player for that.
I agree. Let them go in there and talk it out first and say, hey, guys, we're going to let you slide this time, but we're not going to have any more of it. I think that's absolutely a good thing to do. Thornhill is in the slot this time. Montague back at quarterback. Destin Brown is to Montague's right. 4th down on the way. Only 36 seconds remain in the half. Montague looking deep. He's got Thornhill around the 10. Caught by one, then it fell out of his hands. Good-looking play right there, and a good pass breakup by number 28. That's Shane Lee. Juan had it. Lee came in there and sort of dislodged it, but I know Juan would love to have that one back. Good throw by Montague. Put it right on target.
Juan had the ball in his hands and started to make his move to get behind the defender and just dropped it. 30 seconds here. Colonels leading 28-0. 30 seconds remaining in the half. Been nice to score there.
Yep.
But hey.
Yeah, if you score right there, it really pretty much puts the game out of reach. Couple shout-outs coming here. Well, we got 30.9 seconds left in the half. Maybe the first time all season the Colonels have gone 4 and out, Oscar. I don't know. I have to go back and research that one a little bit. I'm sure it's been rare if it has happened. Running play here. They toss it to number 1, Baskerville. Flag comes out in the backfield. Baskerville didn't pick up much before he was flushed out of bounds. 28-0 is your Colonel lead right now. I'm hoping the Hawkeyes are beating the Badgers by this much tomorrow, but I don't know. That running back for Wisconsin, Tom Menzel's favorite players, probably still running. Did he have like 400 yards or something like that?
405 or 408 or something.
Is that all he had in one game? Oh, that's right. He did it in 3 quarters, too. They didn't even let him play the 4th quarter. Penalty's going to be against Lunenburg. Actually, officials may just end up wiping that one off. No, he's going to talk it over now and give us the signal. False start on Lunenburg. They'll back them up 5. 25.4 seconds left in the half. Colonels with the 28-0 lead. Hey, big shout-out to the gang, too, at El Cazador, Mr. Briggs. They're tuning in down there. Ishmael, Adrian, Steven, all those guys, they take good care of us down there. I'm telling you, you're not going to find a better Huevos Rancheros.
No, you talk about Ishmael. I call him Chan. But that's what he goes by. But yeah, Esteban, and what a great job they do as well. taking care of the customer.
Big Colonel fans down there at El Cazador. Movement up front on this first down play. It's a repeat of first down. This time I think it's going to go against the Altavista Colonels. El Cazador is really a great place for family and friends to dine. Slide on by there after the Colonel game if you want. They're going to call that one on Central Lunenburg again.
Yeah, things getting a little sloppy here at the end of the quarter on both sides. El Cazador, I'm a 3-time-a-week kind of guy there.
Yeah, you are. You are. We're not asking for that much, folks. We just want you to stop in there tonight or tomorrow. 1st and 20 coming up for Central Lunenburg here as we get things back in gear. Chargers seem to be going in the wrong direction. Their visiting section of the fans has filled up, the stands has filled up a little bit with fans. So some folks making the drive down from Victoria, Virginia, is where Lunenburg is from. Passing play here. Painter's going to get swarmed on in the backfield. Dropped around the 22-yard line by a couple Colonels. Dante Poindexter was there. Darius Johnson was there. And it looks like Wayne Short, too. They're going to let this clock run out, I believe. We're down to 4 seconds now, 3 seconds. Yeah, Central Lunenburg not interested in running another play, so we'll go to halftime. Colonels, they've raced out to a 4-score lead, 28-0. Come on back and join us for the Subway halftime show on 105.5 KD Country.
Life happens. Divorce, family problems, criminal charges, civil litigation, personal injury cases. Turn to David W. Shreve, an experienced attorney at law. David W. Shreve has been practicing law for 30-plus years. Free consultation for personal injury cases. Call today, 369-6621, 369-6621. David W. Shreve. Good luck to the Altavista football team in the playoffs. Go Colonels. David W. Shreve, located 7th Street, Altavista.
Unfortunately, I have some bad news.
How bad is it, Doctor?
We've done all we can. Your heat pump's not gonna make it.
Oh, no.
Honey, it's going to be okay. We'll call Select Air Mechanical and Electrical, 332-2600. With over 60 years experience, they'll have us comfortable again in no time.
I recommend Select Air to all my patients. Call 332-2600 or visit selectairmechanical.com. They can handle all your home comfort needs, and they're an authorized trained dealer. It's hard to stop a train.
Hello, this is Mitch Haley, co-owner of Altavista Appliance Home and Lawn Center.
Hey, Paul Shelton here. Altavista Appliance Home and Lawn is now located in a completely renovated building at 606 7th Street, the old Alta Shoe Shop. We now have ample room to display all of our products. We're excited.
We value your service and will do whatever it takes to earn your business. With a new location and new business hours, we hope to see you in the near future. So come by and see us today at Altavista Appliance Home and Lawn Center at 606 7th Street, Altavista, Virginia.
Back to the press box for high school sports on 105.5 KD Country.
Subway halftime show begins here from English Stadium in Altavista. Colonels racing out to the 28-0 lead. We'll try and recap it all for you. Of course, the Highview halftime highlights on the way soon. And we didn't forget about you down there at El Cazador, Carlos. We know Carlos, he might have been feeling down because we didn't mention him earlier. But Carlos is a prankster. He'll find a way to give us a hard time about it when we come back in there earlier this week. Some scores coming in right now from around the area. We mentioned winner of this game takes on the winner of Perry McClure and Washington and Lee. And right now, in that ball game, Perry McClure's got the same lead the Colonels have, 28-0 over Washington and Lee. So it looks like, barring some sort of minor miracles and some big comebacks, you're going to see Perry McClure and Altavista here. It would be in Altavista next Friday, but talk about that a little bit more as the game goes on. That's more something for the Subway post-game show. Our friends at Galax, they lead 40-14 over Patrick Henry. Jefferson Forest, 28-14, a lead over Eastern View right now. Magna Vista is up 34-21 over Monticello. Most of these scores are late in the second quarter or halftime. Our dear colleague Bob Alvis hooking us up with some scores, Mr. Briggs, and then also some technology helping out in there as well. But what do you want to talk about this first half of the Altavista Colonels? I mentioned the Highview highlights on the way. Maybe all four of these scores will be on the highlights, maybe not, but they all involve a guy by the name of Juan Thornhill, number 11. We've given him so many different nicknames, and he's probably worthy of all of them. But Juan, He's done a lot tonight. He cracked the scoring egg. Altavista started out on defense. Lunenburg went on that long drive, had the fourth down stop that the Colonels D had. Drop pass there from Raymond Alexander. Altavista, very next play, they teed it up. 88-yard passing touchdown. Thornhill to Malbeck. It was mostly Michi Malbeck, but you can't take away what Juan did either.
No, nice little play out in the flat, and we see that they like to open up with. And the ball led Michi a little bit. Michi kind of one-handed it, was able to bobble it and reeled it in, and then did a nice job downfield. He had one player had a great angle on him. He did a little stutter step, and again, well documented that Michi's not the fastest. One of the quicker players, but from 100 yards, he's not one of the fastest, but he was adequate there.
Yeah, he had enough speed on that one, and Juan Thornhill wasn't done throwing touchdown passes to Michi Malbeck. They hooked up in the second quarter for a 40-yard pass and catch. Michi caught that one around the 10, had his back to the end zone, made a little sidestep move, and then made a beeline for the end zone. And then Mr. Thornhill ran a touchdown in, as he so often does. He's been in the end zone 27 times this year. That was touchdown number 26, and touchdown number 27 was even a little better. It was a receiving touchdown from Donovan Montague.
He's been in the end zone about 35 times. He's had a ton called back. He had one called back tonight that was, again, just vintage Thornhill.
Yeah.
It's, we're running out of superlatives.
Yeah, running out of superlatives, running out of adjectives, but we're not running out of highlights. Juan is certainly good for that, and boy, he's got a lot of help, too. He'd be the first to credit that offensive line and all those guys blocking downfield. They did a superb job earlier in a lot of those touchdowns that the Colonels had. And let's hear about some of them here on the Highview Halftime Highlights, all brought to you by Highview Motors, GMC. From small to tall, Highview has it all. Thornhill in there at quarterback. He's got Destin Brown to his left, two receivers to each side. He's going to throw to Michi Malbeck. Malbeck bobbles it for a moment, and he caught it. He's across the 20, the 30, the 40, the 45. He's got one man in front of him. Little head fake, hesitation. Now he's got to the sideline. Just a foot race to the end zone. Is anybody going to run down Michi Malbeck? No. Touchdown, Michi Malbeck. What a long one right there, Oscar. 88 yards on the pass and catch. Juan wants to throw. Got a nice pocket, complete to Malbeck around the 7. Michi Malbeck, touchdown. He is in the end zone. His second receiving touchdown of the night. Back to pass. Nice pocket to throw from. He's looking for Thornhill. Juan catches on the 20. Juan's across the 10, the 5. Touchdown. The Magic Man and Donovan Montague hook up.
No one knows trucks like we know trucks. Come see us and you'll agree. From small to tall, we've got it all. Highview Motors, GMC. Come on in. Bring the family. See your friends at Highview Motors. Highview Motors, GMC. From small to tall, we've got it all. Highview Motors, GMC.
Your high school sports station with award-winning coverage on 105.5 KD Country.
Subway halftime show rolls on. The Highview highlights impressive. Juan Thornhill was involved in a lot of them. Michi Malbeck can't take anything away from the half that he has had or the season that he has had. Mr. Malbeck, 6 passing touchdowns on the year. He's been in the end zone 16 times. You know, he scored on defense quite a bit as well, taking 4 interceptions back for touchdowns. So he's caught he's caught 6 touchdowns from his own team, 4 touchdowns from the other team. I mean, it's incredible stuff.
Well, and that just speaks to the depth and strength of this Altavista team. Ordinarily, that's player of the year stats. But you got Juan Thornhill involved.
Yeah, that's a good point. Ordinarily, that is enough to make you player of the year type of candidate. And this entire team, it's again we really are privileged, and we do feel honored to be able to call these games for you folks that if you can't make it to the game one night, or if you're not a towner, you can't make it to any games, it is a lot of fun, and you really are watching a great team. And Oscar, let me say this. I hope Altavista fans know how special this group is. I'm not going to say they're getting spoiled, but you can't expect this kind of talent to all come together at one time.
No, you can't.
Like it has.
And I know it's cold out tonight, and the wind's up a little bit, but you know this is. Let's assume they win tonight, and with 28-0, and the way that they really dominated the second quarter, again, the game's not over, but let's say they win tonight. Tomorrow, next Friday, may be the last opportunity you have to see them play at home. We need to represent. We need to get the town to come out. We need everybody that's sitting at home listening. Hey, you can still listen.
Yeah.
Bring your smartphone with you. Bring your headset with you. You can listen to 105.5, or you can use the TuneIn app. But, we'd love to have you here and support the Colonels as they make a little bit deeper run into the state playoff.
Excellent point, Mr. Briggs, and we need to remember to make that appeal again in the Subway post-game show, because that is an excellent point. Probably the last time you'll be able to see the Colonels at home, and obviously we encourage everybody to travel if Altavista does keep winning, but hey, let's also mention this is the playoffs. If you don't win, your season is done. It's time to break out the basketballs. Everybody's already done that anyway, but you get my point. This is a one-and-done type of stuff. Every game is all hands on deck, as Bob Alvis would say. Bob also updated me. JF now leading Eastern View 28-21. So that game's certainly a very good contest. Hey, we got a good one here. Full second half to play. Let's step aside on the Subway halftime show, collect our thoughts. We might even do some more Win with Subway here before you know it. So make sure you stay tuned. Altavista, they're up 28-0 on 105.5 KD Country.
You can buy paint from any old yahoo who knows nothing about paint in one of those big box stores. For quality paint from people who really know paint, it's Davis Paints from your complete home center, English's. Davis Paints, which has been known for quality since 1921, is not just sold anywhere. Visit the new paint room at English's, your authorized Davis Paint dealer.
English's is your complete home center.
On North Main Street, Altavista.
A short travel save you money.
In the market for a new Chevrolet? Fellers Chevrolet.
FellersDirect.com.
For a huge selection of new Chevrolets and pre-owned vehicles, it's Fellers Chevrolet.
FellersDirect.com.
FellersDirect.com. Selection. Convenience. Fellers Chevrolet.
Fellers Chevrolet.
Always open and only a click away.
FellersDirect.com. A short travel save you money. Fellers Chevrolet in Altavista.
In the past century, our community has grown, and Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service has grown too, alongside the families they've known for so long. Finch & Finch is proud to have served you over 100 years. A family business, Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service, dedicated to your service.
Finch & Finch Funeral Homes. We're here because we care.
Now back to the action with Colonel Sports on 105.5 KD Country.
Subway post-game show rolling on here. It's always rolling on at Subway. I mentioned the $2 6 inches you can get for customer appreciation. Big Hot Pastrami Melt is new and exciting.
Is it new and exciting? It is for me.
What Oscar is alluding to there,
I can
folks.
speak from experience. It was new and exciting for me, and you had said on at least 2 broadcasts that you were going to try it.
Oh, man. I went with the flat teasers
Once again.
I will admit it. The flat teasers are so good, man. They throw the Parmesan and oregano on there for
I don't want
me.
to hear it.
All right, I'm going to make a point. I'm going to do the Big Hot Pastrami Melt next Friday. Even though I'm going to be all full turkey and all that stuff, I'm going to do the Big Hot Pastrami Melt next week. I will try that. Outside possibility, that game could be on a Saturday, but we'll keep you posted. Make sure you tune in to KD Country. We'll give you all the updates, and we know it'll be a post-Thanksgiving game. That'll be exciting. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. We won't get to talk to you on these airwaves before then, but we know you'll be tuned in to KD Country. And all you fans that are tuning in, there's a lot of great programs on WKD. If you don't listen for the music, Oscar, if you just listen for sports, you might not know about the Honky Tonk Jukebox on Wednesdays and Saturdays at 8, where Earl, the sugar daddy, dips into the vinyl there and dusts off all the old cuts.
I actually listened to it Wednesday night for the first time. And,
Thoughts?
I'm going to use some of the vernacular we've used earlier. I dig it, man. Some of that old stuff. I was really, really enjoying the music.
Yeah, the sugar daddy does a great job. I don't know what he's got planned for Thanksgiving week. Maybe something. He'll play some cuts he's thankful for, maybe. And then, of course, you got the gospel show on Sunday mornings with Brother Jay. He does a great job, really uplifting stuff that'll just make you get up and move on a Sunday morning, man. I love that good old-time stuff there. And some new cuts as well. And then, of course, Bluegrass Bonanza on Sunday nights. If you're a Bluegrass fan, we know a lot of you KD Country fans are. You can get your fix there. So a lot of stuff going on 105.5. A lot of stuff going on here in the Subway halftime show. Let's step aside one more time. Second half about to get underway. We'll collect our thoughts, get it going, kick off for the second half. We'll be here before you know it. Altavista, they lead 28-0 over Central Lunenburg. You're hearing it all live on 105.5 KD Country.
This month's specials from your area Apple Market convenience stores. Hickory smoked sausage biscuits, 2 for $2.20. That's a good deal. Large coffee and fresh baked donut or Mrs. Freshly snack cake, just $1.99. And all meat jumbo hot dogs and a 32-ounce drink and chips for $2.99. Slim Jim Giant Sticks, 2 for $2 at the Apple Market convenience stores, Riverside, Gateway, Main Street, and Altavista. You know what they say, stop by an Apple today.
Good food, low prices, and great service keep customers coming back for more day after day at El Cazador Mexican Restaurant in Altavista. El Cazador is now open all afternoon, so you can come by anytime, any day, 11 a.m. till 10 p.m. El Cazador Mexican Restaurant, a great place to unwind and relax with friends. Open 7 days a week, Main Street, Altavista. El Cazador thanks you for your business.
Virginia's oldest and most experienced bus company, Sunny Merriman Incorporated, along with their employees and families, joined together to congratulate the Altavista High School athletic teams for their outstanding fall seasons. Sunny Merriman wishes you the best in the playoffs and your quest to bring home more state championship trophies to our community. Go Colonels and make us proud. Sunny Merriman Incorporated.
Your home for Colonel sports coverage. 105.5 KD Country.
Your chance to win with Subway is going to happen again right now. We told you we were stepping up a little bit in the playoffs here. We already gave away 2-foot-long meal deals. Let's give away another one, Oscar. First person to post the word turkey to the KD Country Facebook page. Oscar didn't like that one. It's Thanksgiving time. First person to post the word turkey to the KD Country Facebook page, you're going to be the winner of a foot-long meal deal courtesy of Subways in Altavista. Again, the word you need to have is turkey. Let's see. Who is hungry out there? Maybe not. You can get turkey, of course. The old turkey sub is a classic over there.
I had the turkey and Black Forest ham for lunch.
You were giving me a hard time. That's not new.
That's new for me. Yes, it was.
All right. That's fair enough. I'll give you a break there. Great stuff at Subway, as always. We'll get touching on a few more scores here as the Subway halftime show winds down. But prognosis and diagnosis for the second half, Mr. Briggs, what do you think? Lunenburg is obviously going to fight hard to try and get back in it, but they're a ground and pound, ball control running team. When you're down 4 scores to a very good defense like Altavista, that's a tough proposition.
Well, we've got some sideline reporters that were down, and one of the Central Lunenburg coaches was talking to one of the other Central Lunenburg coaches, and he took his headset off and turned to the other coach and said, "We don't have an answer for that kid."
Probably referring to number 11, Juan Thornhill.
That's exactly who he was referring to, and that comes from a very reliable source that was down on the sideline as that was occurring. So.
Well, and as you said up here off the air, not many people do, so it's not something that Central Lunenburg should lose any sleep over. I mean, Juan Thornhill, a one-of-a-kind athlete, and again, he's surrounded by a lot of other one-of-a-kind athletes as well. I mean, think about the talent on this ball club.
And you talked about Michi getting in, with the touchdowns he's had tonight, and that doesn't, Destin's been in the end zone 14 times this year as well.
Right. Yeah, Destin Brown and Clydell Moon. We talked about the 1-2 punch that Lunenburg has in their backfield, which is very good. Don't get me wrong. But the 1-2 punch of Clydell Moon and Destin Brown is about as good as you'll find, and you don't hear about them that much because everybody else for Altavista is so good. I mean, we talk about them, but they probably don't get the kind of spotlight that they deserve, honestly.
Well, again, you've got so many weapons, and they do such a good job of distributing the ball. Destin gets his carries. Clydell gets his. Juan, of course, gets his. Juan to Donovan Montague, the Johnson twins, Nelson Dews. There are just so many athletes that have the ability to get to the end zone. Now, here, if you're Central, guess what? You got the ball first. Altavista gets it first going into the second half. So they've got to be extremely concerned if you're a Central Lunenburg fan or coach.
Yeah, Lunenburg has not forced the Altavista defense to do anything. I mean, Altavista scored on every possession they've had. If you're Lunenburg, you would love to come out, kick the ball off, and at least make Altavista punt, turnover, something. You got to do something and walk away without Altavista scoring. Then maybe you can build some momentum from there.
Colonels had 5 possessions in the first half and scored on 4 of them.
Oh, that's right. There was the 4 and out. Boy, see, I make myself sound like an half. You're right.
That was half a second from being a Juan Thornhill catch at the 3-yard line.
Yeah, and the play calling there on that last possession Altavista had, it maybe had something to do with the clock. That was part of it. But you're right. Altavista did have the 4 and out there, so
they're lining up, getting ready to kick off Lunenburg's lineup. This looks like it's going to be an onside kick.
Yeah, they look like they're indicating that. And here comes the run-up. It is an onside kick. It'll bounce. Hit a Lunenburg man first, I thought. Clydell Moon fell on it, though. I thought it hit a Lunenburg player around the 49. Moon fell on it there. Either way, Altavista is going to take over with good field position. They're in Lunenburg territory to start. They'll snap this one near side hash mark. They're going left to right from our perspective, away from Bedford Avenue.
And if I'm Coach Sharness, I strike quick here. I go to the air. I strike quick.
No no real substitutions yet. I mean, it's all first-teamers out there right now.
Well, and we talk about striking, not to interrupt you, but again, when you talk about striking quick, that could be a handoff to Destin Brown, too.
Sure. Yeah, the running plays hit very quickly for the Altavista Colonels, too. 2 wide outs to each side. Destin Brown is in the backfield with Juan Thornhill. He is to Juan's left. Juan's going to put Nelson Dews in motion. They fake it to him. Juan wants to run. Nice big hole right behind the center. Now he's going to head off to the right sideline. He's across the 25, the 20, the 10. Pay dirt. Juan Thornhill is in the end zone again. A 49-yard rushing touchdown. They put Nelson Dews in motion. They fake it to him. Big hole opens up the middle. Thornhill raced through it, and then he raced to the sideline in the end zone. Nice blocking out on the perimeter by Walker Allen. Again, the Colonel receivers doing their job blocking downfield. 10 seconds go by. The Colonels score first. 1 play, 1 touchdown in the second half.
And that was also that little jet sweep fake that looked like Nelson was going to do it. The whole flow went to the left. Juan did a little hesitation, waited for the hole to develop. Again, we're running out of superlatives, ladies and gentlemen.
Juan Thornhill does it again. 49-yard rushing touchdown. He's on to hold for Walker Allen. On the extra point, snap back is perfect. Ball gets to the block. Kick has got plenty of distance, and the direction is good, too. Altavista open up the second half in style. Long rushing touchdown. They lead 35-0 over Central Lunenburg. Still got most of the third quarter to play when you come back on 105.5 KD Country.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes in Virginia are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education.
Brought to you by English Construction Company, with offices in Lynchburg.
Your station for high school sports play-by-play is 105.5 KD Country.
Juan Thornhill, he still had a hand in all the Altavista Colonel touchdowns tonight. He's got 2 rushing touchdowns now, 2 passing touchdowns, a receiving touchdown. Oh, yeah, he's got that 2-point conversion as well. Walker Allen, 4 of 5 on extra points. Actually, he's probably 3 of 5 because the one he didn't even get a chance to kick there. It got to the block on the bad snap, and that's the one Juan took off and ran with.
And you're seeing now on the kickoff, Clydell's not out there, Juan's not out there, Demetrius is not out there. Darius is not out there. Demetrius may be.
Yeah, Demetrius is. Devontae Clark's out there. Destin Brown, Donovan Montague. So it's sort of a mix and match kick coverage team. Walker Allen really gets a good leg into this one. It'll land on about the 6-yard line. Fielded by number 8, Brandon Scott. He's going to take off to his right. Dodges 1 tackler. Tripped up. Still on his feet. Now he's going to get thrown backwards. A couple Colonels have a hold of his jersey. Forward progress is stopped, and they will spot this football on around the 26-yard line. Traquan Farmer was in on it. Demetrius Johnson also, I believe, was there too.
Mateo Malback had a hold of the jersey and was actually pulling back on him as well. And you talked about it earlier. Before the game started, the colder air may have an effect on the kicking game.
Yeah, the ball just generally doesn't fly as far in the cold air. It's hard to compress the football. So maybe that's why Walker hasn't kicked any touchbacks yet, anyway, tonight. We've still got more football to play. Far hash mark. Lunenburg's going to go on first down. They toss it to number 4. That's Sherrod Tisdale. Tisdale stacked up off right tackle. Got a 2 or 3 yard gain before he was thrown backwards by the Altavista linebackers in secondary. Good surge up front by the Lunenburg offensive line. Then Altavista just swarmed on him.
And those of you that are familiar with Altavista football, 11 minutes here remaining in the third quarter, 35-0. The running clock is in effect.
Yeah, Colonels would like to maintain that 35-point margin. And you mentioned the running clock. Coach Sharness, he didn't mind not running a lot of plays with the first-timers last week because he felt it made them rest up. Big mass of bodies here. Rugby scrum up the middle. Ball carrier, I believe, was Baskerville again.
It was Baskerville, appeared to be.
On the toss. And it's first down yardage picked up for the Chargers. Ball resting on the 38-yard line in their own territory. Substitutions coming in for Altavista. They're going to send Kagan Cox back out there again. He's been mixing and matching on that defensive line a bunch. Wayne Short checks out. Looks like most of the first-team defense, though, still out there. Nelson Dews, Juan Thornhill, and Michi Mall back in the secondary. Linebackers look like Donovan Montague, Clydell Moon, Destin Brown, and Demetrius Johnson.
Hey, visitor in the booth.
We always love to have visitors in the booth. I wish we had more, but the press box is only but so big. Rushing play on first down. I think it was J.T. Taylor on the carry. Yeah, he bounces up. 2-yard pickup there, going right up the middle. Brought down by Dante Poindexter. 9:59 remaining in the Apple Market third quarter. Colonels lead 35-0. Lunenburg's going to snap the second down play, middle of the field, their own 40-yard line. They're headed right to left from our perspective. Colonels look like 4 down linemen up on the defensive line. Montague steps up out there on that far defensive end spot. Same formation for Lunenburg. 1 tight end, 2 wingbacks. Movement up front, but there was movement from both teams, Mr. Briggs, so we'll see who this is on.
Yeah, it looks like Lunenburg kind of leaned in that reset, but they're going to call it offside on Dante. Dante leaned a little bit, but the way that they go into their formation and the way they do that set, it's been a little bit disrupted to the Colonels tonight.
Yeah, it's a little bit of an old school thing. The offensive line, they get down in a low crouch, and then the quarterback yells out set or some other command similar to that, and then everybody slams their hand to the ground. A lot of times it looks like they're moving, but that's all before the snap. The football hadn't moved at that point. Man in motion again is Baskerville. They're going to hand it to the fullback. Riley Hart's across the 50-yard line, tripped up by Demetrius Johnson. Juan Thornhill might have got a fingertip or 2 on him as well.
Trayvon Elliott there as well. That's a big gain, first down, as they cross midfield and get into Colonel territory. And, we've seen this with the Colonels a few times this year. They get that 35-point lead, get into a running clock, and it looks like they take their breath a little bit.
Yeah, human nature. I mean, you get a big lead on somebody.
Yeah, I'm not being derogatory about them at all. I guarantee that one more first down, and you can see them start to flex again.
Yeah, you're just reporting the facts. You're not being derogatory towards anybody. Handoff goes to Riley Hart, the fullback again. He got hit hard once, stayed on his feet. He could not stay on his feet after the rest of the team swarmed on him. Thornhill was there for it. Demetrius Johnson ending up in the backfield. Donovan Montague, too.
Kagan Cox is the one that made initial contact and really stopped that play.
I'll tell you, that's the thing maybe that Lunenburg, they didn't panic when they got down 14-0 and 21-0, but maybe they stopped giving it to the fullback as much, in my opinion. And Riley Hart, I can't think of a play other than that one just now where he didn't gain yards. Even if it was only 2 or 3 yards, it was always something in the positive direction for Central Lunenburg. That time he's thrown back for a 2-yard loss. Going to make it 2nd and 12. 8 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. 35-0 is your Colonel lead. They toss it to Taylor. Taylor's got some room up the middle. Hit hard by Clydell Moon. And some other Colonels there as well will drop Taylor after a 3 or 4 yard pickup.
And that'll bring up third and call it 7. And this is where the Colonels will bow up a little bit. And obviously, you're trailing 35-0. If you're Central, you're in 4-down territory.
I think you got to be. You're right. It is going to bring up 3rd and 8. Colonels lead 35-0. 7:33. Clock continues to roll down here from English Stadium. Altavista Scored once in the first quarter, the 88-yard touchdown pass. Thornhill to Malback. Scored 3 times in the second quarter. Another Malback touchdown reception, a Thornhill touchdown reception, then a Thornhill touchdown run in there. Toss play, they're going to swing it out to J.T. Taylor. Wide left side, trying to run the sweep. Not much there. Hit by Destin Brown initially. Then Darius Johnson, Demetrius Johnson, Dante Poindexter was there, and Donovan Montague was there. It's 4 and 5 Colonels on every play getting to the football.
And again, they try that, try to sweep and go wide against the Colonels. It's just, I'm going to go all redneck. It ain't going to happen.
Oh, man, that's fun. Not too many times Oscar Brigg gets to pull out the redneck card on us. 4th and 8 is the situation. Near side hash mark, wide side of the field is the right side. 6:35 on the third quarter clock. Continuing to wind down. Central Lunenburg is going to go for it here on fourth down. They're 1 of 3 on 4th down so far tonight. Same formation, 2 wing backs and a fullback. Passing play. Half-hearted run fake there. Painter's going to get thrown backwards. Sacked by Donovan Montague. Donnie hit him on about the 40-yard line. Threw him back to the 35 or 36.
15-yard loss, and you better not come half-hearted against the Colonels.
That is the one thing you can't do. Donovan Montague getting some penetration there on the 4th down passing play. Colonels will take over on the Central Lunenburg. Where are they going to spot this ball, Oscar? 38-yard line, we'll call it. 1st and 10 from there. Once again, the Colonels don't need great field position, but they've got it again here.
And you're starting to see some offensive substitutions now. Woodruff in the game. Walker Allen split out wide.
You are seeing some different personnel. Juan Thornhill back at quarterback, however. It looks like Donovan Montague lined up on the right side as a tight end. 2 wide receivers to the left. Moon is in the backfield. 2 Thornhills left. 1st and 10, middle of the field. They snap it. They hand it off to Clydell Moon. Following the pulling guard around the right side. Not a whole lot there. He's bottled up for little to no gain. He may have fallen forward for a yard pickup there. They do spot it as that. 5:50 remaining in the Apple Market third quarter. 35-0 is your Altavista Colonel lead. 2nd and 9. Thornhill looking over the defense. No deep safety for Central Lunenburg. We'll see if Juan notices that and adjusts the play or not. No, they'll hand it off. Juan's going to keep it. Tries to shake and bake one guy in the backfield. Juan running backwards now. He does make a couple guys miss. He's going to get close to the line of scrimmage. He does. Tight roping the sideline. No, they say he stepped out right there at the line of scrimmage. Juan was a full 7 or 8 yards deep. Couple of shoulder shakes and head fakes. Then a little juke move. Bought himself some time. Never could really get it going north to south, though.
Nah.
5:27 remaining in the Apple Market third quarter. It's going to bring up 3rd and 9. So 35-0 Altavista Colonel lead. Coach Sharna signaling in the plays from the sideline. Montague will come out. Michi Malback will come in. Offensive line looking over here for the play as well. They've done a nice job tonight. Number 70, Tyler Kofer out there to the left tackle spot. Of course, Wayne Short at the center. Snaps have been good all night, as they usually are from Mr. Short, or from when Kenny Brumfield is in there at the center spot as well. 2 wide receivers to each side. One backing up just a little bit. Going to put Michi Malback in motion. They hand it to him on the jet sweep. Michi's around the end there. He's got the first down. He's across the 20, the 10, inside move. Hit hard around the 5 and brought down. He had a beeline for the end zone, but good pursuit by the Central Lunenburg secondary brings him down on the 5-yard line and be 1st and goal from there.
There's a flag back at the 37-yard line.
Mm-hmm. That was the old line of scrimmage.
Yeah, there was a block in the back from Altavista down at about the 15-yard line. I saw that. That one wasn't called. And I'm going to take a minute. We talked about a guest in the booth. Hey, we had the pleasure of interviewing Michael Moon last year. And he's back in town for the Thanksgiving weekend. He's up in the booth. And
I think we should try and do it again.
What, interview him again?
Yeah. No, have Thanksgiving again. We're going to do that again anyways. On Thursday again this year?
Yeah, I think so.
This penalty is going against the Altavista Colonels. That was a joke there. It was, I know it's on Thursday. Probably be 10 yards from the spot of the foul, so it looks like it's going to create a 3rd and call it at least 19, maybe even 20 situation for the Altavista Colonels. We'll officially make it 3rd and 20. Altavista, Juan Thornhill moving some folks around. They're going to go bunch formation to the right here. That's the wide side of the field. They got to get all the way down to the 28-yard line for a first down. A little bit of a low snap, but Juan handles it, steps up in the pocket, throwing, complete to Michi Malback at the first down stick. Stiff arm by Malback. Man holds on to the jersey and just rides Michi down to the ground, but it's a first down pass and catch. Thornhill to Malback. We've said that a time or two tonight. Good play right there on 3rd and long.
And picked up the first down, and Michi made a nice move. Couldn't quite evade the defender, got a handful of jersey and drug Michi down, or he would have been gone.
So like how Juan stepped up in the pocket again. I mean, he was rolling to his right, but he sort of went back to his left, found a little seam in the blocking right there that his O-line created, then just threw another strike out in the middle of the field to Michi. First and 10.
And, you know, Michi, for the first time all year, looks a little nicked up. He's gassed, I think.
Yeah, Michi moving a little bit slower. He's going to come out for a little bit of a break. 2 receivers to each side for Thornhill. He's going to hand it off. No, he's going to keep it himself. Going to go right up the middle, dancing backwards. Juan's now going to turn full 360. He's running all the way across the field. He's back in the backfield again. He got a couple good blocks. He ran into Walker Allen. Still on his feet. It looks like a matador dodging a bull out there, and he finally is dropped for about a 1-yard pickup. Crazy stuff right there from Juan Thornhill. Covered a lot of ground only for a 1-yard gain, but sometimes that's what the Magic Man has to do. 3:28 remaining in the Apple Market third quarter, so 35-0 Altavista lead, Oscar.
Yeah, and somebody in the booth just made a great analogy. I won't repeat it, but it's like flag football out there, and they can't even come close to getting the kids flagged.
Officials have got the ball spotted. They're doing some discussion themselves. Apparently there's a flag on the play. It's going to be a hold against the Altavista Colonels. Well, when you dance back and forth and make that many cutbacks, I don't want to say the officials look for it more, but it certainly happens more on those long cutback runs. I mean, blockers get out of position, too, just like the defenders do. Call it 1st and 20 now from the 30-yard line. Altavista needs to get down to the 10.
Hey, and you know what? This is the best way to run the clock for Altavista.
That's true.
Yeah, they're gaining 40 yards and getting 20 called back. They're gaining 30 yards and getting 15 yards called back. Hey, they're eating up clock.
Hadn't thought about it that way, but I can't disagree with you, that's for sure. Blocking back now lined up behind left guard. Looks like Destin Brown. They're going to hand it off to Clydell Moon. Brown did a successful block there on his man. Moon's going to pick up 6 or 7, and then the football comes out. It looks like Lunenburg fell on it. Football came out. Did they say Clydell Moon was down or not? Lunenburg still fighting for it down there. They hand the referee the football. No signal yet. No signal either way.
Yeah, speaking of fighting, getting a little chippy out on the edge.
Altavista's going to retain possession. They never signaled that he was down, but they never signaled that it was Lunenburg football. So, Colonel football here. Bring up 2nd and 12 after the pickup from Moon and then the fumble after.
Joe Robertson for Lunenburg and Darius Johnson took exception to some stuff that was going on, and we're kind of locked up, and the officials did a good job again of breaking that up.
Ty Woodruff in the left slot now, wide side of the field for the Altavista Colonels. Thornhill setting the offense. He's got Moon up as a blocking back. He's got Brown up as a blocking back. Clydell Moon is right beside him. Under 2 minutes to play here in the Apple Market third quarter. 35-0 is your Colonel lead. Near side hash mark will be where this ball is snapped from when it finally does get snapped. Thornhill catches, fakes the handoff. Now he's going to run off left tackle, bouncing off in between the hash marks and the numbers, dropped around the 21-yard line as he goes to the turf. Big mass of bodies around him, and that's about the only way to tackle Juan Thornhill is to gang tackle him.
Yeah, and you know, this is all well and good. I'd like to see them really start to establish and use that offensive line and get Clydell and Destin going a little bit. It's great to rely on Juan's athleticism, but it looks like right now it's going to be Altavista and Perry McClure next week, unless Washington Lee stages a big comeback. And again, I'd like to see them utilize their other options right now.
Well, to your point, I mean, you would like to see the Altavista O-line blow some people off the ball, and you certainly don't want to lose your aggressiveness even though you're up 35-0. Colonel's going to take a timeout. Maybe that's part of the discussion from Coach Mike Sharnas. We'll take the timeout with them. They lead 35-0 over Central Lunenburg. 1 minute remaining here in the third quarter on KD Country.
When you have more mortgage options, you'll be in a better buying situation, and I can help. I'm Courtney Woody with First National Bank, and we offer a wide variety of loans right here in Central Virginia. So if you want a more custom mortgage for a new home, or to lower your existing monthly payment? Contact me, Courtney Woody, at First National Bank in Windhurst. We've been focused on local customers just like you for 100-plus years. First National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Here's more award-winning high school sports with Kyle and Oscar on 105.5 KD Country.
35-0 is your Altavista Colonel lead. Juan Thornhill has had a hand in all the touchdowns, but it looks like he's going to be on the sideline for at least this play anyway. Doesn't look to be too happy about coming out of the ball game, but certainly can't fault Coach Sharnis either way. I mean, Colonels are in command. Probably Donovan Montague going to be at the reins of the quarterback spot again, but we'll see. They have used Jacob Adams a bunch in the second half of these games this year. No, it is going to be Montague in the backfield. Empty backfield at that. 3rd and 10 coming up from the far hash mark. 20-yard line. Colonels need to get down to the 10. 3 wide receivers to the right. Moon is just off the right tackle's shoulder. Montague looking over the defense. Now he gets into a crouch. Snap on the way. Put ball back in motion. That ball's on the turf. Ball bouncing around. Lunenburg trying to dive on it.
And I think they got it.
I think you're right. They got to it first. Maybe Clydell Moon wrestled it away at the bottom of that pile, but they did not. Turnover for the Altavista Colonels. One of those rare times that they turn the ball over and give it back to the opponent, but they do so right there. Lunenburg will take over on their own 25-yard line.
Snap wasn't quite as clean, and Donovan never really got a good handle on it to be able to get it to Michi on that jet sweep.
Yeah, the snap wasn't awful. I mean, Donovan got his hands on it, but it wasn't great either, and I think Donovan did try and rush it to get it to Moon, because with that jet sweep, a lot of timing involved. I mean, you've only got a small window to hand it to the receiver who's on the move full speed. Lunenburg takes over on their own 25-yard line, 1st and 10, with 35 seconds remaining in the quarter. Nobody in motion that time. They turn and hand it to Sherrod Tisdale. Tisdale will get a nice pickup off tackle. And here's some extracurriculars afterwards. No whistles blow, no flags come out. Just a couple football players hard getting locked up there. One of them was Demetrius Johnson. 5-yard gain on first down.
That's the second. And Coach Sharnis is talking to the officiating crew, and again, there's been some ongoing dialogue since early in the ball game between the officiating crew and the Altavista coaching staff. Again, it's a little bit unusual.
2nd and 5 from the Lunenburg 30-yard line. They'll let the clock run out on the 3rd quarter. We'll go to the final quarter. Altavista, they lead 35-0. 4th quarter on the way when you come back to 105.5 KD Country.
Apple Auto Glass is your windshield repair and replacement center in Lynchburg. You get a free car wash with all windshields replaced in the shop. Apple Auto Glass wants the fans to enjoy the boys of fall this high school football season.
When I feel that chill, smell that fresh cut grass, I'm back in my helmet, cleats, and shoulder pads, where the boys of fall.
Apple Auto Glass salutes the boys of fall.
More live high school sports action on 105.5 KD Country.
Subway postgame show will feature some more highlights, some more scores, some more analysis from this one, and perhaps some analysis of the Colonel's upcoming opponent. Again, barring a major miracle, maybe it's a minor miracle, I don't know. Altavista's going to go on to win this football game, but we got one full quarter to play. Running clock, though, because of the 35-0 margin that Altavista has put in place here. Colonel scored once in the 1st quarter, 3 times in the 2nd quarter, and once in the 3rd quarter. The one time in the 3rd quarter, Oscar, was the first play of the half. Juan Thornhill with the long rushing touchdown, 49 yards, I believe.
And it's been a little bit of an odd, what I'm going to call odd running clock, because the officials have run it half the time, and half the time they haven't, probably due to that second-string clock keeper we got.
I'm leaving that one alone. 2nd and 5 for Central Lunenburg. Thornhill showed blitz momentarily. Backs off. They toss it to J.T. Taylor. Taylor getting strung out wide there. Thrown down by Destin Brown. Demetrius Johnson. A couple more Colonels were there as well. Shaquan Taylor is a 155-pound senior. Boy, doesn't he look bigger than 155 pounds?
Yeah, he really does, and he certainly runs better than that.
This is a Lunenburg team that I mentioned been at least to the state quarterfinals the last 3 years in a row. Boy, in the 80s and early 90s, Oscar, there was no better team than Central Lunenburg. You know, they got the VHSL state record for longest regular season unbeaten streak. 81 regular season games unbeaten.
That's
81.
incredible. That's incredible.
From 1984 to 1991, they did not lose a regular season game.
That's incredible.
And I know they made like 6 state championship game appearances in that span as well. Handoff goes to the fullback. He is hit hard by, it was either Montague or Destin Brown.
They're going to give him enough. They're going to give him some progress.
Man, hard-hitting football there. I think it was Destin Brown that hit him right around the shoulder pads. Hart kept going. Brown wouldn't let go.
Yeah, one looked like he got his bell rung. But he's up and moving around and headed back to his safety position.
Not very often you can say Juan Thornhill gets his bell rung, but hey, he's human. It happens. You play enough football, it'll happen. Riley Hart, another hard running play there from the fullback spot for Central Lunenburg. 1st and 10 coming up for the visiting Chargers. We're down under 11 minutes, 10 and a half minutes, in fact. Altavista with the 35-0 advantage. Inside reverse, handoff goes to J.T. Taylor. He's bouncing out around the left sideline, around his own bench. Flushed out of bounds by Thornhill, Demetrius Johnson, Clydell Moon. A couple other Colonels there as well. And it'll be a 5-yard gain for the Chargers.
Nelson Dew's involved in that play as well. Nelson's had a solid game tonight.
Nelson has quietly put together a very good game. He had just the one carry, I think, that he produced the 25-yard gain. And you're right, defensively, he's been in on a lot of stops. Of course, the thing about Altavista's defense, not only tonight but all year, it's rare that anybody gets a chance to make solo tackles because everybody else is also swarming to the ball. On the one hand, that's a good thing.
I'll make another comment here after this play.
Toss play is going to go to J.T. Taylor, turning it up around left tackle. Good surge up front by the Lunenburg O-line. I mean, most of the offensive line got 6 or 7 yards deep downfield, and Taylor was just hiding in behind them, peeking in and out of places.
Well, and let's make no mistake, Central Lunenburg, the first 6 minutes of the ball game, really the first quarter, did a tremendous job of moving the ball on the Colonels. Ball control, 3, 4 yards, 5 yards, 4 yards. They had a couple of plays where they turned the ball over, didn't make a play that they should have made, and we could have had a ball game here.
Thornhill down on the ground, hurt right now.
It's a cramp.
I think you're probably right. Referees are going to blow it dead, but referees will stop play. Excuse me. Back to what you were saying, you're right. I mean, they had the 4th down pass when they were in the red zone, that if they complete that, might not necessarily be a touchdown on that play, but you're looking at least 1st and goal.
7-0,
right?
Potentially.
That's exactly right. They dropped another long pass where Raymond Alexander got behind the defense. It would have been at least a 50 or 60-yard passing play. So you're right. They certainly had some plays they didn't take advantage of, and we talked about it. I mean, when you're playing a team as good as the Colonels, your room for error is razor thin. So if you do make 1 or 2 mistakes, you probably lost your chance at the ball game. And unfortunately for Central Lunenburg, that's what happened tonight. Not to say that the Colonels wouldn't have pulled away in other ways. You just never know. 1st and 10 here. They'll toss it to Taylor again. He gets hit hard around the line of scrimmage, surging ahead. He's thrown backwards by Demetrius Johnson. Johnson grabbed a hold of the waist from behind. It started yanking at him, pulling him backwards. Forward progress gets him a 1-yard gain. Ball's resting right on the 50-yard line. 8:33 remaining in the Apple Market 4th quarter. 35-0 is your Altavista Colonel lead.
And Juan is over on the bench now, getting attended to, and there's not much activity around him, so there's not a lot of concern. And he's been plagued by cramp. And the way he came off the field, he was walking towards the sideline, and you could see it grab him. So a lot of speculation, but we're going to say it's a cramp.
Handoff this time goes to Keon Baskerville. Baskerville's got a little bit of room. Football might have come out, or they're just continuing to throw Baskerville back. Kagan Cox there, first guy on the spot. Then Demetrius Johnson. Boy, Demetrius Johnson has been in a bunch of plays tonight. You know, Devontae Clark's been on that bench for a long time too, Oscar, and he's had Devontae Clark, that is a guy that has had some trouble with both knees in his career. ACL surgery last year on one knee. He actually tweaked the other knee earlier in the season. He's played in I think he sat out 1 game this season, but he's played in 10 of 11 games. Thornhill's up, helmet off, but he's up jogging around the sideline, just testing it out, I think. 3rd and 5 for the people that are on the field. They put Taylor in motion and hand it to Riley Hart, the fullback. He's short of the first down marker, picked up 2 or 3.
And again, Joe Robertson, I think it's who it was. Hard to see. Somebody from Lunenburg and Dante Poindexter locked up, and it's a little bit more extracurricular. And you got competitive kids here that have had a great season at 8-3, and they're getting it handed to them tonight. Again, they've done well, but
it's an emotional situation,
absolutely,
for sure. I mean, you're expecting a result other than this. QB sneak this time as Painter's going to take it right across the first down marker. He almost got it to the 40. He only needed the 42. So first down pickup there for the Chargers. And, yeah, you're right. I mean, on the one hand, it's a good thing that people are still playing hard, Oscar. I mean, there's no quit in either of these teams. And like I said, that's a good thing, particularly when you're the visiting team, the Chargers. You've made a long drive. You want to continue to play hard and fight this thing out. Colonels are going to send in some substitutions. Terrell Robinson checking in the ball game. Clydell Moon coming out. First team defense for the most part pretty much intact other than Moon, Thornhill, and Devontae Clark. They'll put Taylor in motion. Taylor wants to throw. Drops back to the 50. Good arm from the left-handed thrower. He's going to overthrow the intended target. Incomplete. Boy, J.T. Taylor just heaved that one long. That's kind of makes me scratch my head, wonder J.T. Taylor hasn't attempted a couple more passes here tonight. But can't second-guess Coach Will Thomas from Central Lunenburg. He's done an outstanding job.
He has. And this is a well-coached team. They've done a good job scouting Altavista.
This is a team.
But we went through what happened, and but for a couple of plays early in the ball game, this could be a totally different situation right now.
Absolutely. Altavista tends to do that. Lunenburg, I mentioned they've been pretty good the last 3 years. In 2011, they lost out to Galax in the state semifinal. Lost to Sussex Central in the state quarter. Yep. And lost to Essex last year, who Altavista eventually went on to beat. So this is, again, like I said, a team that is always around in the playoffs. They've got a great program. Will Thomas should be credited for that.
Baskerville's back next year. Painter's back next year.
Riley Hart, the fullback, is back. Raymond Alexander, just a sophomore this year. He's the main target out there in the passing game at tight end. Good defender as well. So, this is a team that's got some prospects coming back for sure and will be very good. Again, Dante Poindexter going to check out of the game for the Colonels. 3rd and 9 coming up for Central Lunenburg. Far hash mark. They need to reach the 31-yard line. Taylor's going to go in motion. They fake it to him and hand it off to Baskerville. Baskerville is across the 35, hit right there at the 34. Michi Malback, number 1 on number 1 right there. Malback with a good solo tackle to bring him down. Gets some congratulations from brother Mateo Malback. And it's going to bring up 4th and 4. 4.5 minutes remaining in the football game. Altavista on top, 35-0.
And you're starting to see some of the other players get involved.
Big Randall Clark checking in the ball game on the defensive line now for the Colonels. Randall Clark is a senior, and we've documented it multiple times. One of the strongest guys that the Altavista Colonels have on the team.
He's got some records in the weight room.
Coleman Teagarden positioned on that defensive end spot as well right now. Lunenburg's lining up to go for it here on 4th and 4. Near side hash mark. We're going to snap this one from the 35. They need to get to the 31. Flags come out. It may have taken too long. Delay a game penalty on Central Lunenburg. Oh, had another player pick up the flag, Oscar. We've seen that before.
The player picked up the flag. This one didn't take in his pants and run back to the huddle with it.
J.T. Taylor just handed it back to the official, which I mentioned last week. The officials really don't like that either. They say, hey, I'll pick it up myself. But J.T. Taylor just trying to be a nice guy there. This backs him up to the 40, make it a full 4th and 9 situation now for Central Lunenburg. They break the huddle. Maybe the last time they're going to have the football. Similar formation, 2 tight ends, 2 wings. Fullback right behind Painter. They're going to hand it to J.T. Taylor. J.T. Taylor trying to go out wide, turns it up along the hash mark there, hit hard around the 35. He will be short of the first down marker. A little bit of activity there at the end of the play, but it's a turnover on downs. Altavista's defense does it again. I think Lunenburg, that makes them 1 for 6 on 4th down so far here tonight. Oscar, you can't have those numbers and expect to win the football game. Altavista, they lead 35-0. Probably run a couple plays and then take a knee time for the home team, Colonels.
And I don't know who you'll see in at quarterback, whether it'll be Montague or no. It looks like it's going to be Adams. Thornhill had his helmet on and acted like he was going back in the game, but that wasn't going to happen.
I think you're
and we're
right.
seeing Dews, Johnson, Malbeck, and
it is Jacob Adams going to get in there and run the quarterback spot for the Altavista Colonels. Colonels taking some time, but the play clock just started. Altavista O-line is short one member, just 4 linemen up there right now, Mr. Briggs. They're calling for somebody. They'll send Kagan Cox out there. Still 10 seconds remaining on the play clock here, so they've got some time. Game clock is under 3 minutes. Of course, Altavista sporting the big lead, 35-0 over Central Lunenburg. Now the ball is going to get snapped. 1st and 10. They snap it to Adams. He hands it off to Chancellor Mormon. Mormon will carry ahead for a 2 or 3 yard gain as he falls down and hits the Lunenburg defensive linebacking.
And we think we may have access to Mr. Moon next weekend.
Okay.
It's always good to see Micah. He's not going to be here next weekend. I just got confirmation he's not going to be here Friday. But we had a nice interview with Micah last year. And you get the Altavista graduate that was a standout at Carolina and played in the NFL.
You can hear it on the KD Country YouTube page.
That's right. You can go back and listen to that interview. And, of course, he works with the Indianapolis Police Department in the youth division now. And
Adams going to take it on 2nd down. Football came out late in the play. Lunenburg signaling that they have it. They do have it. Visiting team Central Lunenburg will come away with the fumble. Number 28, Shane Lee, I think, was the guy that fell on it and picked it up. And I misspoke the play before that. It was Jonathan Montague on the 1st down carry. But that doesn't really matter now as Central Lunenburg will take over on the Altavista 48-yard line. Under 2 minutes remaining in the football game, Oscar. 35-0. Yeah, the interview with Micah Moon available at the KD Country YouTube page. Just go to kdcountry.com. Click on the YouTube link. All the Colonel games are there on demand. 99% of them anyway. We had a few technical difficulties, but that game is on there. I think it was against Franklin last year? Or was it the week before that against Northumberland, maybe?
No, Northumberland was the first week. It was either Northumberland, Sussex, or Franklin.
Yeah.
It was one of those. I don't think it was Franklin.
Taylor going to take the toss. He wants to throw again. Left-handers heaving it long. Ball in the air. Ball intercepted by the Altavista Colonels. Picked on about the 15-yard line. I think it's Mateo Malbeck. Malbeck is across the 30, across the 40, still on his feet, throwing guys out of his way. Stiff arm.
Yes,
Can any Lunenburg player catch him? I don't think they can. Mateo Malbeck across the 20. He's running out of gas. He's on fumes. Dragged down around the 1. Oh my goodness.
On, man.
Mateo Malbeck could not get in the house. Call it a 75-yard. Actually, call it an 85-yard interception return. Excuse me. He fielded on about the 15-yard line.
Yeah, it was 85 yards, but he ran about 125.
Yeah. Wow. Impressive stuff there from Mateo Malbeck.
And the clock is stopped.
35-0 is your Altavista Colonel lead after the Mateo Malbeck interception. The younger Malbeck has 2 interceptions on the year. Altavista Colonels with 19 picks on the season.
And historically, in this situation, Shawness, they take a knee.
See if they do so here. Jacob Adams lined up in the shotgun, so I wouldn't expect a kneel down to come from the shotgun formation. No. Shaheem Pennell right beside Jacob Adams. Bunch formation to the right. That's the wide side of the field. 1st and goal. They toss it out to Shaheem Pennell. Pennell sidesteps one man, hit hard around the 3 or 4 yard line and shoved backwards, though. Not going to get in the end zone there.
They're going to give him forward progress at the 6.
Wow. Going to back the Altavista Colonels up quite a bit. 35 seconds remaining now on the game clock. Let's see if Altavista tries to score or not.
No,
they're looking over at the sideline for the play. I think you're right. Play clock is down to 21, so they will have to run at least a play to avoid the delay game penalty. Shaheem Pennell dropping back around the 20. That's a sure sign of the kneel-down victory formation. That's what Jacob Adams is going to do. He'll get under center and take one kneel down, and that'll be the ball game here. Colonels are advancing on to the 3rd round VHSL state playoff action. Of course, Altavista, defending 1A state champs. They're trying to get back there. They've advanced one more step along the way here with this victory. 35-0 is your final score. Subway postgame show on the way when you come back to 105.5 KD Country.
Altavista High School football is brought to you by Steve Farmer Auto Sales. Steve Farmer Auto Sales, where there's always a good selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs, and they're priced right with financing available. See Steve Farmer Auto Sales, 1112 Main Street, Altavista. Steve Farmer Auto Sales, best deals on wheels.
Unfortunately, I have some bad news.
How bad is it, Doctor?
We've done all we can. Your heat pump's not gonna make it.
Oh, no.
Honey, it's going to be okay. We'll call Select Air Mechanical and Electrical, 332-2600. With over 60 years experience, they'll have us comfortable again in no time.
I recommend Select Air to all my patients. Call 332-2600 or visit selectairmechanical.com. They can handle all your home comfort needs, and they're an authorized trained dealer. It's hard to stop a train.
Life happens. Divorce, family problems, criminal charges, civil litigation, personal injury cases. Turn to David W. Shreve, an experienced attorney at law. David W. Shreve has been practicing law for 30-plus years. Free consultation for personal injury cases. Call today, 369-6621, 369-6621. David W. Shreve. Good luck to the Altavista football team in the playoffs. Go Colonels. David W. Shreve, located 7th Street, Altavista.
Back to the press box for high school sports on 105.5 KD Country.
35-0, the Altavista Colonels a winner in second round 1A VHSL state football action over the Chargers from Central Lunenburg. Boy, we've talked about it a bunch, Oscar. It bears repeating. This is a game that could have been a lot different, but the bend but don't break Altavista defense. They came up with a big fourth down stop on Central's opening drive, turned it into points on the very next play with the long Thornhill to Maulback touchdown pass, and really it just went from there. Altavista's defense, another shutout, Mr. Briggs. 7th shutout in 12 games this season. That's a staggering number right there.
That's yeah, it would be interesting to go back. I got to believe that that's the most shutouts the Colonels team's ever had.
We'll go back. We'll research it. Remind me to research that. You know, our research department at KD Country, pretty good. Almost as good as our sound engineer, Eleanor Haynes.
I know what that means. The research means that she'll say, hey, Bob.
Oh, that's not true. I do my own research now. Hoping to get some scores from our friend Bob Alvis and the Sports Buffet podcast. 35-0 is the score you need to know from here. If you joined us late, we're glad. Better late than never. That's what I always say. And the Colonels, of course, I guess when you want to recap the scoring, it's got to involve Juan Thornhill in some way. He's seen the end zone in all 12 games this year, Oscar, and that's impressive because, you know, you got some very good players around the area, and historically in all levels of football, even the great ones, it's hard to score a touchdown every single game, but Juan has done that this year, and tonight, again, he scores in a multitude of different ways. 2 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns, a receiving touchdown. Threw in a 2-point conversion just for extra, I guess. Nah, I shouldn't laugh. It was a bad snap that Juan scooped up. He made a beeline for the right pylon, and he snuck it in there. That's another nice weapon to have when you can turn a busted play into points. Juan has the ability to do that.
Yeah, just updated score. I'll comment on that. You know, as we get more scores, Jefferson Forest 42, Eastview 35. So that's a shootout, and that was pretty much what the prediction was.
And I want to say something about that as Bob Alvis and Talking High School Sports, Talking High School Sports, the Sports Buffet podcast with Bob Alvis, sent me this little tidbit about that. Our old friend Navy Jones, he returned another kickoff for a touchdown. Then he recovered a short onside type of kickoff attempt. So best of luck to the Jefferson Forest Cavaliers with a 42-35 lead.
I've got a Navy Jones Juan Thornhill story from this year.
I think we're ready for it right now. Of course, this is a Subway post-game show. We got a lot of stuff going on. We got highlights coming up. But give us your Juan and Navy story.
The WSET Player of the Year thing was going on, and I don't want to influence it.
Is going on. Yeah.
Navy was getting a lot of votes. Juan was getting some votes. Juan was actually involved in some little social media stuff, encouraging people to vote for Navy. He had won it last year. His philosophy is, you know, he had a great year last year, was fortunate enough to win it, and he wanted his buddy Navy to have a shot at it.
Wow. That's That's unselfish, exciting, and nice to see that the friendship continues on, even though Navy Jones off at Jefferson Forest this year. The big score that we were looking for, at least in my opinion anyway, was Perry McClure and Washington and Lee. Perry McClure still up big, 41-14 over Washington and Lee. So it looks like, again, barring some sort of a big comeback from Washington and Lee, and that would be a big comeback. It looks like you're going to see Perry McClure in town next Friday to take on the Altavista Colonels. I say next Friday, time and date to be determined. I mean, it's either going to be Friday or Saturday. We're thinking it's going to be Friday night. That's what Dean Hubbard has indicated to us. Wait for some official word.
There has to be collaboration. Both teams have to agree. And, that'll be two undefeated teams. And we talked about the backs that we saw tonight. Boy, oh boy, we're going to see one next week.
Yeah. We'll talk about that and more here as the Subway post-game show rolls on. Oh, yeah, we got some highlights to do as well. We'll get to them. Colonels with the big win, 35-0. You heard it all on 105.5 KD Country.
Hello, this is Mitch Haley, co-owner of Altavista Appliance Home and Lawn Center. We are proud to announce that we have moved to our newly renovated location at 606 7th Street, the old Altavista Shoe Shop building. We pride ourselves on service and want to do whatever it takes to earn your business. With a full-time appliance and lawn equipment technician, we will be here for you when you need us. We service all major brands of lawn equipment and most major brands of appliances. So come by and see us today at Altavista Appliance Home and Lawn Center, 606 7th Street, Altavista, Virginia.
English is
so much more.
English is
More than a hardware store.
English is.
My friends may call me the perfectionist, but at English's Building Supply, my neighborhood Davis paint dealer, they greet me by name. You see, I like to get things done exactly right, especially when it comes to my many painting projects. So I'm at English's Building Supply a lot, whether it's mixing the perfect Davis paint for my project or offering great incentives. They do business just the way I like it. Perfectly. English's on North Main Street, Altavista.
A short drive will save you money.
In the market for a new Chevrolet? Fellers Chevrolet.
FellersDirect.com.
For a huge selection of new Chevrolets and pre-owned vehicles, it's Fellers Chevrolet.
FellersDirect.com.
FellersDirect.com. Selection. Convenience. Fellers Chevrolet.
Fellers Chevrolet.
Always open and only a click away.
FellersDirect.com. A short drive will save you money. Fellers Chevrolet in Altavista.
In the past century, our community has grown, and Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service has grown too, alongside the families they've known for so long. Finch & Finch is proud to have served you over 100 years. A family business, Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service, dedicated to your service.
Finch & Finch Funeral Homes. We're here because we care.
Your high school sports station with award-winning coverage on 105.5 KD Country.
Subway post-game show continues here. Of course, those $2 6-inch subs, customer appreciation time at Subway. And, man, does anybody appreciate his customers any more than Robert Duff? I mean, we gave away 3 foot-long meal deals tonight on the win with Subway. I have a feeling we'll do multiple again next week. And, it's, again, just you got to stay tuned to these Colonel games. I mean, you're a Colonel fan or you're a high school sports fan. Might as well get fed while you're at it.
Well,
you know?
and Robert Duff is not just he's not just an entrepreneur restaurant guy. We were in there earlier. He was doing maintenance.
You're right. He was changing the light bulbs and all that other kind of stuff. So Robert is gritty. He's not a finesse player. He's not afraid to get his hands dirty. And again, Robert loves, the high school sports fans everywhere. I mean, we talk about Altavista. We cover the Altavista games, but we know we got a lot of just regular sports fans tuning in, whether you're leaving one game, going to a game, bouncing in and out, back and forth between games. We appreciate everybody that tunes in, and you don't have to just be an Altavista fan to win with Subway. Let's try and recap the scoring here, Mr. Briggs. Thornhill to Maulback from 88 yards. That started it in the first quarter. Second quarter just sort of continues there, didn't it?
Yeah. Juan Thornhill with a 40-yard run, and then they missed extra point, made it 13-0. That was at 11:37 left in the second quarter mark. 5 minutes later, 7:19. 4 minutes later, 7:19 left in the quarter. It was an 18-yard touchdown pass to Michi. The two-point conversion, which wasn't intended to be a two-point conversion. Mishandled. It was a snap and couldn't get it down on the block. And then late in the quarter, it was Donovan Montague to Juan for a 49-yard slant play. And the point extra was good. Colonel's up 28-0 at the half. Altavista received. Central did an onside kick starting the third quarter. Altavista got it at the 49-yard line. One play later, it's all Juan Thornhill.
Yeah, 35-0, and I got a feeling you're going to hear some of those on the Highview highlights here. So let's let it roll. Of course, the highlights brought to you by Highview Motors, GMC in Altavista. From small to tall, Highview has it all. Thornhill in there at quarterback. He's got Destin Brown to his left, two receivers to each side. He's going to throw to Michi Malbeck. Malbeck bobbles it for a moment, and he caught it. He's across the 20, the 30, the 40, the 45. He's got one man in front of him. Little head fake, hesitation. Now he's got to the sideline. Just a foot race to the end zone. Is anybody going to run down Michi Malbeck? No. Touchdown, Michi Malbeck. What a long one right there, Oscar. 88 yards on the pass and catch. Juan wants to throw. Got a nice pocket, complete to Malbeck around the 7. Michi Malbeck, touchdown. He is in the end zone. His second receiving touchdown of the night. Back to pass. Nice pocket to throw from. He's looking for Thornhill. Juan catches on the 20. Juan's across the 10, the 5. Touchdown. The Magic Man and Donovan Montague hook up.
No one knows trucks like we know trucks. Come see us and you'll agree. From small to tall, we've got it all. Highview Motors, GMC. Come on in. Bring the family. See your friends at Highview Motors. Highview Motors, GMC. From small to tall, we've got it all. Highview Motors, GMC.
Now back to the action with Colonel Sports on 105.5 KD Country.
Oh, those highlights are fun, aren't they, Mr. Briggs? Altavista with the 35-0 lead. We're not playing any more football here. It's the Subway postgame show. They're not going to come back. It's not a doubleheader.
No, but we're watching other scores.
You're right.
And we're talking about who's leading, so that's an easy,
I appreciate
faux pas.
Appreciate the bailout there, Mr. Briggs. Some of those other scores. Essex is up 14-7 over Rappahannock in the fourth quarter. Our friends at Jefferson Forest, they lead 49-35 now against Eastern View. Boy, JF, they tend to score points like the Colonels do. And in the big game, we were watching Perry McClure leading 41-22 over Washington and Lee. So let's transition onto that.
Well, let me give you a couple more scores. Galax up 60-21 over Glade Springs. That's the final. And Dixon ran for over 300 yards and 6 TDs. And again, we saw Galax.
Yep.
We know what they're capable of. And then our good friends out at Haysire are up 21-14 over Covington with 9 minutes left in that game. Good luck to those people. We had a ball out there with some great people last year, so we kind of watched them.
We did. We kind of tend to follow those teams that we've gone to and played against. Galax included, Haysai. Man, yeah, it was fun going down there. Different kind of world down there, but it's neat to step into that. Boy, they love that football down Southwest Virginia, man. That's what Coach Sharnis and I were talking about. You get in the mountains, they love some football.
And that's the last time the Colonels trailed, too. So
that's a good point.
You brought that fine fact out with your deep research that you do.
Before we get on to Perry McClure, as a matter of fact, last time Hayside is going to be playing football is this year because they've got consolidation coming up. I think you and I talked about they're going to merge with Clintwood, I believe. So, yeah, it's kind of a swan song, and boy, I don't know if there's ever a time for a Cinderella story. Maybe that's it, but we'll see. That's possibly down the road. Next week, though, for Altavista, Oscar Briggs. Again, assuming Washington and Lee can pull off some kind of a crazy comeback. Perry McClure Fighting Blues are going to be in Altavista next week.
And I'll go redneck again. Ain't gonna happen.
The comeback,
the comeback ain't gonna happen. And Perry McClure and close proximity. We know the Buena Vista program. Know Perry McClure well. Altavista and Perry McClure played in the late 2000s. It was, so
it was a good series.
It was a good series. We know them. We know the basketball team. They know us. We've got people from Buena Vista, and they used to come down when we played in the late 2000s, and they would tailgate here. So that'll be fun. And two undefeated teams, and they've got a kid named Raheem Dawson that, by all accounts, is as good as it gets too.
Yeah, Dawson is a guy that you mentioned, the ABC 13 Player of the Year award that won last year. Dawson was a finalist last year. He's a finalist again this year, and with good reason. He is a kind of a running back that just churns out yards. I've heard people compare him to the guy Stephen Peoples that we saw last year from Galax. Same, type of a runner, just, he's got the breakaway speed, but he's got enough moves. He's got the hard-hitting ability where he can lower the shoulder. Just a well-rounded, polished back, and they've got some guys to go with it. Perry McClure, kind of like they used to, they run that full house backfield, or at least two backs in the backfield seemingly every time. So they're going to be another grounded-out, ball-control type of team, too.
And they've got another kid that's run for over 1,000 in that backfield as well, and I can't recall his name right now, so shame on me. But, that shapes up to be one heck of a ball game.
And I think it's a game that a lot of fans have been looking forward to. I think some people have tried to indicate that the players are looking forward to it. No, I think with both teams, they're taking it one game at a time, but now it's come that time.
Well,
so.
Some of the social media stuff had said, Perry McClure wants a piece of Altavista, blah, blah, whatever. When you interview a team at the beginning of the year, what do you want? You want to go to the state champion. You want to go to the state championship game. Obviously, with Altavista having the number of players they came back that were coming back, by all accounts, were number one coming into the season. Obviously, all roads, according to most people, would come through Altavista.
Sure.
Certainly on the east side. So it's going to happen now.
Yeah, I don't think Perry McClure was taking a personal shot at the Colonels. They just said, hey, they're the defending state champs. It'd be the same principle in basketball. I mean, any 1A team has got to bank on having to go through the Altavista Colonels in basketball this year. So no bad blood or anything like that, but I think it will be a good-spirited contest. And let's talk about, again, what you talked about before we get to the Chris Owen Player of the Game Award, Oscar. We're dragging on the post-game show a little bit here, but it's fun, right? I want to mention what you talked about earlier. Might be the last chance to see the Colonels at home. It's been a great year. If you haven't been out to that many games, maybe you saw a game earlier in the year when the weather was nice, or maybe you haven't been to a game at all. Hey, maybe you're somebody in the area listening right now. I'm telling you, you want to see the Colonels in person, and this might be your last best chance to do it.
Yeah.
Unless you want to ride.
Yeah, unless you want to go out, potentially go out west to a Honaker or, assuming the Colonels win next week, and I'm not going to make that assumption at all, this may be your last chance to see this group of athletes
That's an
play.
excellent point, too, yeah.
This may be your last chance, home, away, anywhere. And Perry McClure is going to bring a ton of people.
Yeah.
This is not going to be – they will fill the opposing bleachers up. Altavista, so far, the two playoff games that have been hosted, the attendance has been down. I'm going to chastise the people of Altavista and the fans and challenge them. I know it's Black Friday. I know it's Thanksgiving weekend. But, hey, special group of kids, defending state champions, may be your last opportunity. Come out, be loud, be proud, and show your spirit and get behind and rally behind this team and show your support and get out here and watch them.
That's a great I don't think anybody could have said it better there. Very passionate appeal from Mr. Briggs. I'll make the appeal just to high school football fans in the area. You're going to be hard-pressed to get two more electric athletes in Raheem Dawson and Juan Thornhill on the field at the same time, and then you throw in the cast of characters they have around them, the Johnsons, the Clyde L. Moons, the Destin Browns, and Perry McClure's bringing that same kind of talent, too.
Both sides of the ball.
Yep.
Dawson's very capable on both sides of the ball as well.
That's right.
And something that we talked about Hayside and what a passionate crowd they have. When we went up there, very prominent that the Clintwood people, that the J.J. Kelly or whoever, the one JJ, it was the Honaker people were there. They supported the team that was in their districts that was still left.
That's right.
And I'll challenge, the Gretnas and the William Campbells to come out and support this town and community as well. There's so many ties. There's so many relatives, cousins, aunts, uncles, people that work with kids, that work with parents that have kids that go to both schools. Come out and support the Altavista team. We're going to need it.
You're right. I think we've said enough. And, again, official game time and date to be determined. We think it's going to be Friday night. Outside chance it could be Saturday. But we talked about electric players. I know a guy that was pretty electric back in the day. Chris Owen, scholarship player at Wake Forest, by the way. Went to high school at Jefferson Forest. Of course, he's probably got his eye on that JF game, too. He brings us our internet broadcast. If you tuned into us online, thank Chris Owen for that. He's your All-State agent in Lynchburg. Football fans always in good hands with Chris Owen, and he will bring us the Good Hands Award for the night for the Central Lunenburg Chargers. I'm going to go first. I'm going to go with Riley Hart, the fullback. J.T. Taylor, great running. Baskerville, great running. I like those gritty, blue-collar, grease and dirt under the fingernails kind of players. Riley Hart was that tonight at fullback. I liked what he did.
Yeah, that's a good call. Because,
man.
Yeah, I mean, you got me because that wasn't where I was going, but I like that call.
I won you over, is what you're saying.
Well, almost. I'm going with J.T. Taylor. I really liked what he did tonight, too. He was impressive, ran the ball hard, tough to bring down, and after contact would pick up 2, 3, 4 yards. So J.T. Taylor, for me, stood out for Central Lunenburg.
Nice pick there. On the other side for the Altavista Colonels, sometimes you just have to go with the obvious choice. Everybody from Altavista played great. Heck, the defense pitched another shutout, so you could probably just pick the defense or any guy on the defensive line. They played fantastic. But when you're Juan Thornhill and you account for all 5 touchdowns, I got to go there. I mean, Juan Thornhill, 2 passing, 2 rushing, 1 receiving. You call him E.A. Thornhill, I call him the Magic Man. Not much he can't do out there, and he played great defense, too. He helped in the shutout, so I don't think you can fault me on that one.
No, I'm not. And I think probably for one of the few times all year, as much as my gut tells me, boy, Michi had a heck of a ball game, too.
He did. Think about the couple bone-crunching hits that Michi laid.
He had some great blocks. He had some nice hits on defense. Made a great play, the very first offensive play that the Colonels had the ball. But all that aside, as much as I don't want to, I got to agree with you. Boy, Juan was showed tonight why he's special.
And I guarantee if you asked him, we already told you the story about him telling people to vote for Navy Jones. Juan's the most humble guy. I bet you if you asked him who he thought was the player of the game was, he'd say his offensive line and the defensive line. And he'd pick about 20 other guys before he got down to himself. He'd say, oh, did I have 5 touchdowns? But anyway, our player of the game, as always, Eleanor Haney back at home base, making it sound good. And we could not do it with our version of the offensive line. Our sponsor, David W. Shreve. When life happens, call David W. Shreve, attorney at law. El Cazador Mexican Restaurant, a great place for family and friends to dine. Don't know if they're still listening down there on Main Street at El Cazador or not, but if they are, big hello to you guys, and you guys, nobody better than El Cazador. English Building Supply, your complete home center, and Davis Paint headquarters. Highview Motors GMC, from small to tall, Highview has it all. Sunny Merriman, Virginia's bus company, sales, service, and parts. Apple Auto Glass, celebrating the boys of fall. Get a free car wash when you have a new windshield installed. Select Air, Mechanical, and Electrical, your authorized Train dealer. It is hard to stop a train. Steve Farmer Auto Sales, best deals on wheels. English Construction, wishing our high school athletes an exciting and injury-free game. We definitely had that tonight. The First National Bank, focused on providing an extraordinary customer experience. Altavista Appliance, your appliance, home, lawn, and garden center. Visit their new location on 7th Street. Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Services, a family serving family since 1905. The Apple Markets. Check out the weekly specials at all your area Apple Market locations. And Feller Chevrolet, a short drive will save you money. Of course, they sponsor the YouTube rebroadcast. Go back and listen to this one. Listen to your Colonel State Championships. Boy, a lot of good things going on at the KD Country YouTube page. I already mentioned the Honky Tonk Jukebox tonight. You can listen to archive episodes of that. It's all good stuff. And, of course, again, our live internet broadcast at kdcountry.com, brought to you by Chris Owen, your All-State agent in Lynchburg. I mentioned you folks from out of town, feel free to drop Chris a line. Tell him how much you like the broadcast. That's going to wrap it up for us. For Oscar Briggs, for Eleanor Haney, for the Altavista Colonels who get the 35-0 win, I'm Kyle Haney. We'll be back with you. Keep listening to KD Country. Date and time to be determined to take on the Perry McClure Blues in state quarterfinal action here from Altavista. Keep it tuned in to 105.5 KD Country.